I don't see anything. All right, so let's get situated here what we're doing. This is going to have to be it, okay? I'm going to keep scanning. We got 20 minutes, but again, Monday morning, no reason to be aggressive here whatsoever. Oh, you can't even see it anymore? I see it, but it's one person, and he wasn't real. Yeah. This is actually gapping down a teeny weeny little bit from Friday, but nothing to speak of. So we're just going to leave it. Oops. Okay, so this is the only focus for today. That's it. All right. QLGC. Oh my gosh, I just saw another invisible tick. Did you guys just see that again? I just saw that again. Yeah, I just saw it a second time there. All right, so this is going to be an interesting watch. Cannot do anything with this whatsoever right now, okay, because it's really not doing anything. But like it because it actually did have information come out this morning that's significant. I think this hasn't come on people's radars, and I love the chart. JCP can be shorted as long as it stays under 1845 is really what I want to see. 1840. You can really give it 1850, but it's going to be Slop City, USA if it goes up all the way up to there again. Here. Really even here. 40. It's got to stay under 40. If it goes over 40, it's going to be sloppy, but I bet it still works. Okay, this is just a mess. That's been a mess for a long time. The cleanest day was this day in here. That was the cleanest day this thing has had for months. As far as the way it's traded. A-run, we definitely have to go back and look at. Just honestly, as long as it stays under $15, it's going to continue back on top of itself. I just may not be today. OSIS was the one that got halted. Looks like it's still halted here. And what was the other one? ADSK. Interesting one to watch as well. Nobody in this morning, so we'll have to see how it plays out. Let's quick double check the market. Ooh, look, market's holding. Surprise, surprise. Market is strong. Any pull-in is going to get bought. Any pull-in will get bought. And I wrote the numbers down, 73.50 if it wants to come in here today to that. I don't even think it gets down there. Just got to be honest with you here. It's not even going to see that. But and the SPY said 165.35. The SPY could come all the way down into 165.35 and still be bullish. I don't even think it does today either. Here, this is what I'm looking at in here. All right, so let's just have a nice, easy morning. This looks good. I'm not doing this if it reverse swooshes. I'm not doing this if it does an ugly, grotesque topping tail. I won't short into that. That's by choice, not meaning it's not going to work. I do not want to participate in something like that in a Monday morning with lack of other picks, okay? It does rate 21 points. How do I want to set up in the open? No rally, set up right away and go. That's it. That's what I wanted to do. In ideal world, it stays under 535.25. Can be shorted up to 550. If we don't want to get picky, it can. I'll write the resistance in the room. Actually, I see now I did not write that down yet. Resistance XNPT. This is good, okay? It's just, I've never traded it before. A lot of volume in it. The reason isn't fantastic, okay? Like the gap, though. Like the gap. If I didn't like the gap, I wouldn't even be bothering with this. We just watched JCP or even A-run. Where did A-run go up to here? 1350. 1345. 1345. Remind me, when I was working on the trend class this weekend, I saw some things in this. I want to point some things out in this when we're done trading today. So like I said earlier, decide right now, how many trades are you taking today? 1, 2, 35? What are you doing? You know, figure it out, write it on the sheet, stick to it. Put it on a sticky next to your computer. These are the kind of days that you have to have some kind of discipline. Okay, you should have discipline every day, but these are the days that get you into trouble. Why? You haven't traded for 2 days. It's Monday morning. You want to trade. You know, you think the market's coming in a little bit today, which it might, but not really that much. There's tons of things gapping, but none of them are good. You like a lot of the continuation gaps, and many of them may follow through today, specifically if the market comes in, even if it's only 50 cents. But the reality is there's really only one thing that I even took my time today to rate. And if that thing doesn't work, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, you know. And even more so, those of you that did a run on Friday and didn't do ADSK, okay, maybe you shouldn't do anything today. Maybe you should take one trade in this thing today, and if it doesn't work, stop. Or take half size in it. Take one trade half size in it. If it doesn't work, stop. Do you see what I'm saying? Protect yourself, preserve your week, preserve your month. This is nothing. Does anybody have anything else they want me to look at? There's nothing except for the stuff that I've already looked at. I don't see anything. Let me know, though. I've looked at these things a million times. GMCR. Nothing. Let's go look at the rest. POS. Oh, let's look at the POS again. Look at this POS. So this was a fluke. Okay, this is, you know, this is lower. Today now it's under this number again. It's just inching its way lower like all the metals are. Look, it's breaking the support again today too. I think these little dinky rinkers, like this one in the IAG, are better swing trades to be in and just follow through, because they're not playing on the momentum really on the day, and they're just nice, easy things at a downtrend since the original gap. You know, and they don't have big targets. But look, it's breaking on through again today. 1 penny though under. It could turn and break and go and then flip. I haven't looked at these charts for a little while. I have to in here. Another beautiful example of gaps, so I'm sure these are lower. Let's just see. Incredible. Yay. I said that, and I even put it on YouTube. This would never see the high of this bar again. It's not going to. It's not going to. Look, this is going to break this one here. 131.51. It's going to. And people wanted to buy this stuff in here. I can't tell you how many people emailed me about buying these stupid things. I said, don't touch them. You can't even, how many green bars are in here? Look, there's 2, 3, a baby one. Incredible. Good morning, Michael. I don't know why I don't do every single thing that I say. I have to really sit down seriously this summer and spend some time on my own stuff. I should do every single thing that I say. Look at this. This was a great short in here. This just happened. This is 2 weeks ago. If you carried 100 shares of this overnight, you would have made $1,000. 100 shares. That's all. You would have made $1,000. And if you would have had 200, you would have made $2,000. And where was the first target? Here. That's the first target. Incredible. Just incredible. Yeah, this is rallied. Okay, fine. Not a problem. It's rallying. That's not a problem. Again, I don't really want it to rally for me to take it. So let it rally now. As long as it holds the numbers, it's fine. But I don't really want to see this over 550. I don't really want to see it over 530. It's not. Okay, it's a little spready in here, though. Look, 200,000 shares in the spread. Ooh, the spread is changing. 1 minute it was 4 cents, and now it's 8 cents. Crap. We're going to have to price a spread in here. What's the maximum spread? I think it's like 12 cents. This is what I'm talking about the jumpiness. Stop in here is going to have to be 15 cents over the stop. Is this going to be worth it for the risk to reward here? Let me just look at this. We're going to have to price 15 cents over the stop in this. It's getting more spready as the volume's coming in. That doesn't make any sense, but that's the reality. Where do I really think this is going to drop into the first space now? Honestly, 475. That's 475. 475, 45 cents, 50 cents, and the stop is going to be, it's going to be 15 cents with the spread and the stop, not even for the entry. I don't know. You know, let's just see how this plays out. If it gets a rinky-dink or stop with the spread, we'll do it. But, you know, I can't have a 15-cent entry in here, 10-cent entry, then 15 cents over the number, be 25 cents to make 50. That's idiotic. Why the heck is this thing so spready all of a sudden? It wasn't even this bad this morning. Let me just think a minute here. Maybe we should just do JCP. Maybe we should just watch QLGC. Look, look. You know what? Maybe we should just watch QLGC. I didn't even rate this. I didn't even rate it. I can rate this now. This is Monday morning. I hate not being prepared. Now here it is. Well, we can just do it on the fly. We could just do this on the fly. This could open and do a swoosh immediately. I'm not saying it's going to, but this could. This is going to play through. It's doing it right now. You can't do this until the volume comes in, but this is not bad. This might be the best thing to watch. That XNPT is disappointing a little bit here. Where is this going to though? Here. So really not a big target. Is that a big deal? No. Could get all the way down into here. $9 isn't crazy for this. $9. $9. All right, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I was thinking I was doing the XNPT, but this is actually pulling me around to it. And this is rallying, and it's just so spready now. Do I really want to deal with a jumpy, spready stock for news related on a medical thing? That's the question. What kind of entry are we going to get in this thing? Well, I might get 5 cents. 5 cents plus the 15 would be 20. This is amazing. This goes on the list of things that even I am just, you know, gotta pat myself on the back about. And I can't believe not one person in here shorted that up into that rally. We'll go over that later today. Just incredible. There's not one person in here that couldn't have taken 100 shares of this. There's not one person in here that couldn't have taken 100 shares of this. Not one person. Every single person in here, small and big accounts, could have taken 100 shares in this and could have done it. You could have done it. You could have taken 10 shares. Look at the risk to reward. Yeah, and you know what? The target's way beyond. I mean, the target, it's gonna cut through it. It's gonna just flash right through that target. It's gonna go crash right down to the ceiling. I don't even remember what I said the original target in this is. I don't even want to go back and watch the video I did a month ago, but we'll look at it again today. It's too late now, though. Too late. Too late. The entry was the gap. And if you entered it here, you suffered, but you had conviction. And you added in here and cost average yourself down, and you're taking it down and you're getting paid. All right, let's just situate ourselves here. Now the spread is 2 cents. All right, let's just do the XNPT because we had it situated. I don't have time to rate the other one, and it's still low volume. I can play that on the fly. All right. So let's just watch this. If I think it's too spready and I don't want to do it and it rallies too much, I'm not going to do it. All right, I just won't do it. All right, I'll call it trade. If you guys want to do it, you can do it. If I think the stop is too big for the risk reward, I'm not going to do it. You know, that double bottom there is a problem. It's rallying the double bottom and the 15. It's a problem. I'm aware of that now. So out of the gate, there's only one thing I'm watching. XNPT. Okay, I'll flip to the QLGC. But it's spreading now, not enough volume. I really do think this plays out. Okay. Monday morning, got to let these things set up. Okay, just let these things set up. So I'm going to watch XNPT out of the gate. It is spreading. It is changing between a spread of 2 cents and 12 cents at any given second. That's annoying, okay? But this is what it is. And for this much volume, over 200,000 shares, it shouldn't be doing that. I've never traded this before. I don't know what the normal spread is. This is a jumpy stock, okay? And if it does a reverse swoosh, I'm not going to do it, okay? I just won't do it. If it sets up and the risk to reward is there, if I see it, I have it set up to do it, I'll take it. If I don't want to do it because I don't think the risk to reward is there, I'll call the entry for you guys. I'll tell you what the stop needs to be, but it's going to have to be 15 cents over the number. So if the number is 510, then it's going to have to be 525, okay? Where you put the stop, all right? So I'm not sure if I'm doing anything here. This has to set up properly to go. This is really enticing. I liked it this morning, and now it's actually getting more volume in it. It's still very spready, but this could fix itself immediately on the open. Run, have all the volume it needs in it, and set up and go. And I kind of don't want to miss it. But then again, if it does a swoosh, we have plenty of time to watch the swoosh, go back, and do the setup. So, you know, and that's really what this has to do because you can't take it here on the open. 5,000 shares. TXN is a bust. JCP is annoying, but I think it works. I definitely think this works. As long as this holds, as long as this opens under 1840 and holds it, this is going to work today. I saw that this morning, even with the big rally up, okay? But it is going to work. As long as it holds 1840. It has to open under 1840 and hold 1840. 1850 the max, but I don't even want to see that. No, it can't open under 1840 and rally up to 1850. That won't look right. This is a continuation gap. Didn't work right on Friday. I'm glad we didn't play it. It was messy. Did a reverse swoosh on Friday type of activity and was ugly looking. Market's bullish. Okay. And that's the end of the story for the market. So I'm flipping today between two things, Q, L, G, C, and X, and P, T. That's it, okay? I'm going to watch this. Maybe we're going to get an entry in this that makes sense. Or maybe we'll just play it for one hard and fast move. I don't really want to hold something to the target if the risk to reward isn't there. That's silly. Then you just chunk out a day. Just take one trading and chunk it. You get all out the whole thing. You get green. You say that's it. And if it sets up again and goes to $4, we can take it. I don't think this does. I think 425 is a dream target in this today. A dream target. And it did do the double bottom of 475 pre-market. That bothers me. Am I not going to do it because of that? No. Didn't do the double bottom on the one and still could set up right. It's the only thing I even rated. So, you know, just got to watch it. This is not going to be a heavy trading day. I don't think so in the market. I don't think so for gaps. I looked at there are a couple of things that did have earnings. They're not much to do of anything. Okay, even the stuff that's on the upside. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. I want to go over A-Run when we're done trading today and GLD. And let's see if we can make some money this morning. But this is not the day of the week to be playing hard. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's earnings out that are of significance and they're interesting. And those are the days we'll be looking to play something good. Who knows? Maybe this will turn out better than expected. Sometimes it happens on a Monday. I'm so easygoing, and then all of a sudden these things work. But I got to be convinced. I got to be convinced this is even going to play out. TKC. Nothing. No. Nobody's giving me ideas, so obviously there really isn't anything. Really isn't anything. So even if you actually did this trade in here, you could have held it. You could have held it here. Look, it never went over the previous day. Never went over the 1230. Held the 1230 resistance. Never went over it. Never even touched it. Okay, so this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's holding though. It's holding the numbers. What did I say? 530 in an ideal world. Okay, it's doing it. So good luck, everyone. I only have really one that I'm in love with, and it's XNPT, and it's really spready. It's only 2 cents now, but it was 12. There it is again. Now it's 12 cents again. It's insane. The other one is QLGC. It is actually a guidance warning. It does not have volume. You cannot do it on the open without volume. However, it could open and get the volume in it immediately. and then you take it on a setup. We'll flip and look. Okay, Monique. All right. Well, we'll talk then later about that. If you're on a demo, maybe I can find another one for you for the rest of the month. Or just watch. Yeah, study. Look for the setups. Look for the setups as if you would want to be taking them then. So you can still practice. All right, here we go. I am not going to be aggressive today. All right? So FYI, do what you got to do. Yeah, we got to price this with the spread. There's no getting around it. It's been up about 12 cents differential in the last 30 minutes. So 2 cents in there is a flub. This is a good gap though. I just, you know, the way that it's acting here this morning, it has to open and prove its weakness. Okay, now look, see, it's 9:30. It's after the open. This hasn't had a tick yet. See how we got caught in this the one day? Look, now it just opened. It opened 14 seconds past the open. Okay, high is 510. Nothing to do yet. Nothing to do. Is QLGC getting the volume? Yes, it is. I knew this would play out. So this is still really thin now. Under 68 is the break in there. We can go back and look at that. That's still pretty thin. Okay, nothing to do here on this. So I'd like it to hold 530. Okay. It didn't bounce off of a whole number here. That's 505. Yeah. I'm just going to wait. This has to have a decent entry in it to be taken. And even a sandwich on here now is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be like 45 cents. What about JCP? No, JCP is nothing yet, but it is holding. It is holding. Nothing here yet. Still low volume in this, but look at this. So this is going to break this right now. Look at this. It's just too low a volume. We'll go back at 9:45. This may actually set up with enough volume after it breaks on through. After it breaks on through. You can't really take this in here. It's going to rally back at some point, but this didn't do a swoosh. Okay, but it's kind of setting up like it might just do it immediately. But where's the people? Only 62,000 shares. Nope, nothing to do with this here. Nothing, 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 nothing. Okay, let's see if it's going to hold 530. That was the number I said. Okay, now we got 500,000 shares in here. Maybe the spread's going to settle down. 529, 529. No. I haven't called a trade yet. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do yet. Haven't called one trade. An A run. A run held 1350. So aggressive. So aggressive. But, I mean, you could short A run right here at 1333, put the stop at 1350. I'm not doing this. I have 100% conviction in it the way it's setting up in here now, though. If you really wanted, you could do A run right here and put the stop at 1350. This is very aggressive. I take half size, but I like it. There you go. There it is. That one's playing out. And this is still in play, but not as nice as this. This looks good. I'm not doing it. I'm still looking for these ones here. Okay. All right. 524. The stop is going to have to be 550. 24 by 50. 24 by 50 for XNPT. 24 by 50. This is aggressive because of the way it rallied. Didn't trigger yet. Did not trigger yet. 24 by 50. That's what it's going to have to be. 24 by 50. 524 by 550. And if you do this, I would not take full size. Okay? This is very aggressive. We can look to add on the 1 and the 2 if it holds. It hasn't set up yet. Time of the day in here is good, though. If it sets up at 9:35, time of the day is good. So 524 by 550. 527, you can do 27 by 50. 27 by 50 you can do. 24 will be the odd and the 2. 27 and then 24. Nope, 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 nope. Don't do anything. Don't do it. Nope, nope, nope. Nobody should have done that and never hit the number. That's it. It's not going to work. A run's going to work. Did anyone do this? I should have just done it. Did A run. And the moment I saw it, I had plenty of time to press it. Just play A run out. Play this whole thing out. All right. As soon as it breaks under 13, see how it acts. You may have to take a little bit off under the break at 13. Otherwise, write it down. I don't even know the target on this. We'll go back and look at it. Let's see if we can find something else. QLGC. Let's look at this one. XPNT isn't going to work. No one should short that. Absolutely not. Okay. All right. So this did not break 68, did not break 68, did not break 68, but it's setting up really nicely in here. What's the high of this? 75. Spread is 77. We could put it at 80. That's even almost too much. 70 by 80. Actually, the better entry, yeah, 70 by 80. 70 by 80 if it wants to do it. This is still thin though. 935. All right, let's wait on this. I think this could set up here. The other one never triggered, and that's why you have to wait for the trigger. All right, so I'm watching this QLGC for a setup and a play. I like it. It's still a little thin. Do I care? Not necessarily. Okay, the utter weakness in this is a good sign. I did like it this morning. This is gapping. Happened for a reason. Didn't have time to rate it, but I came in late, and I liked it. So let's just see if we can find a good entry. And this is going to have a small stop. How are the other ones playing out? What were the other ones? Continuation. ADSK. No. Look at that. It's a bust. Nothing to do here with this one. Thin as well. TXN, no. Market, nothing but strength. I even said this morning, this gap down actually means we're higher. This gap down confirms we're higher today. The gap down confirms that we're higher. Every time we gap down, every time we trade down, we get bought. Don't think anything other than that. Maybe we'll have the big green bar today. We get over the high today of Friday, and we want to rally. We're just going to rally on up. All right? We'll just rally on through. All right, so if you really want to do this, we could do it at, I'll wait for the numbers, 73 by 80. 73 by 80, and again, this is aggressive too. Here, 73 by 80, I'm taking some of this. Okay, and we can add under 70. Add under 70. Okay, and do we really need to stop at 80? Let me just see. Yeah, we're going to give it 80. Ah, I didn't even have time to add. I didn't even have time to add. Okay, but I did take up here the trade that I just called. I don't know if anybody did it with me. It happened fast. You actually had time. You had plenty of time to do this. I didn't even have time to do the ad. But there it is. All right, so we're going to play this through. I have no idea where we're going with this. I didn't even have time to figure out the targets. Yeah, I liked this morning. My instinct said I liked it. So we're going to look for 950 as the first number. We're going to look for 950. So we'll look for 950. This is the first number, okay? This isn't some huge monster trade, okay? This is really actually, it's a new gap today, but it's really a continuation gap from the one that happened from before. So it's okay to do this on a Monday morning. Didn't get the ad. Actually, it's back at the price if you really want to add here. Let's just make sure we are not giving this too much room. I have it at 80. 975. Let's just keep it at 80 because it's a little thin here. But look how the volume came in then. The volume doubled then, more than doubled after it broke. I'm not looking for a big target in this today. $9 is a dream target in this. So we're going to say $9.50, $9.25, $9. Nice. Nice little guy in here. Everybody had plenty of time to hit it here. Okay, and I did say the number way before this, but then obviously that one triggered hard. EW is working. Let's quickly look at that. I think this QLGC is just going to be a nice little guy. Very thin, crazy thin. I wouldn't have done it, but beautiful. I said it was going to work. Racks. Racks rallied up. You get a shorter racks again, thin. Let's look at this again. No dice. Ah, look! I said this morning if this thing does a crazy, crazy tail up to $6, it could do anything at once, and I wouldn't do it. Look. Ugly. Disgusting. Look at that. Unbelievable. And now it's going to do whatever it wants to do, and I'm not participating in that. We'll go over that then. Interesting. All right, so hopefully some of you got this with me here. We're playing it down. I may be out of the whole thing if it bounces at all. Actually, we have to say 960, 950. This is a chunk, okay? We're pulling out a chunk of something, anything today in a day. There's not much to look at. I rated one thing. It did a reverse swoosh, called the entry, never even triggered, shouldn't have done it, and it looks like a piece of crap, and I kind of warned everyone, this could do a tail up to $6, and if it does, I'm not participating. And that's exactly what it did. That's exactly what it did. Those medical things can do anything they feel like. I actually like this a lot, though. I did like this morning. So just play it down. I'll tell you where the exit is to do the quick and hard fast exit rules. We talked about this morning. You got to do that with a portion of it at least. Nice little trade in here. Okay. With a little teeny weeny stop. Gosh, could this get to $9 today? All right, you know what? I'm only going to get out of half of this into the hard and fast reversal sign. I think this could get to $9 today. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but this actually could. $9.25, $9.25, $9.25 it could actually get to. But 3 red bars down now, we're going to be looking for some kind of bounce. I'm going to get out of a little bit. Again, you're just, you're chunking a day. We're not looking for huge, crazy momentum things today. These gaps aren't giving it. And look at the market, okay? So let's just follow it down there relaxed. The time of the day here. All right, maybe we'll just hold on to the whole thing and lower our stop. So right now I have the stop at $9.80. I'm thinking here that I may just let this pivot and then lower the stop. For the whole thing, all right? Staying in a little bit longer. It's still early. It's 9:42. I don't really want to get out of this for 10 cents. So let's let it pivot. So right now, the whole stop is at 9.80. I don't really even need to keep it all the way there. But that's where I have it. So actually, the hard and fast exit rules where we should have gotten out of some of this right here, 967. If you really want to play hard and fast exit rules, 967, you can get out of some of it. Okay, but I just noticed that this is 1-to-1 down in here, and I like it, and I think it's going to pivot. And I don't think 962 is anything it should bounce off of. So I'm thinking I'm just going to hold the whole trade and then lower the stop for the whole thing and try to eke more out of it. Let's look at the market. Okay, market's strong. And XMPT, look. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything with this. Oops. Okay, so QLGC hard and fast exit signs, if you really wanted to go out of something, would have been 967. And I just think this is an easygoing thing in here that I'm just going to try to stick with and just lower my whole stop on. All right, it broke through the pivot. Many times this does this, and it has the bounce back. And I can make more if I can hold more into the whole thing rather than take half and half off in here because I didn't get much of a move. And it broke. Okay, so I like it because it broke. So there's no reason to think that it's not going to continue for a little bit more. But honestly, 950, 950 is probably the first placement here. I definitely think it gets there today. All right, so we'll see how it acts when it gets there. If it breaks it, I'll stay in it. If it doesn't, then I may have to take the whole thing off, and then that's it. Okay, as soon as we can lower the stop, I'll tell you. I'm still in this. I didn't take any off. Hard and fast exit rules, we take some off at 9:67 as soon as you see it reversing. And it's a reversal time, what? 9:45. So that's why this is happening. But I really like this. There's 300,000 people in it. I'd like to see more people in it. Do I think I will? Yes. Yeah, I think this is going to come up on people's radars now because of the way it fell. This is going to come up on people's scanners. I think it's going to get some more volume and more shorting in it. Okay, so it's set up again here. You could add even if you wanted to on the 1. I'm not going to do that. 968 is an add. 966 is an add. I'm not going to do that in here because I kept the full amount. But if, in other words, if you had taken some off, you could have added it right back. Look, and then you would put the stop over here. I'm not going to move my stop until it triggers on the 2 and wait till the reversal time. So yeah, a lot of these things continue. The EW and the QLGC is just a bust. Here. Beautiful. 66. Did it get to 66 yet? 66 is a trigger on the 2. There. All right, so let's lower our stop here. Actually, let's put our stop at 976. We're saving 4 cents. It's not $1 million, but it's something. I'm trying to give it a little cushion in case it does a tail or something. So literally, the risk here is, 3 cents. Which is why you could have added. Now, I'm not doing this. Why? I didn't even rate this gap this morning. I'm playing this on the fly. I like the chart. I like the reason. I like the setup. It's Monday morning. I'm not full on this thing. But, it's not doing anything wrong. It's actually working. And I'm just not going to be piggish today about ads or targets or anything. Okay? So we're going to look through a break now of the low of 62. My stop now is 1 penny over here. It's got to break under 62. Under 962. Under 962. And then I got to get out of something at least and see if we can get it to 950. 950 I think is 100% realistic. I saw that in there. I don't know if it breaks 950. The only way this gets to $9 is if it breaks 950. And I just don't know if it's going to do that against the market. So my stop is here. Okay. So what are you risking on this? You sized it for a risk initially of 7 cents, and now we've cut our risk to 3 cents. So if you took full on in the trade, you're going to only lose half. Okay. And if you didn't take full on, you're going to lose a quarter. You could take some out right here. You're profitable. But I'm trying to eke what I can out of this because this is it. I'm not doing another trade today. There's nothing. There's nothing. This didn't work out. It's a piece of crap. This did gap down. Look at that. Ended up being halted, then opened, then did gap down. Actually opened under 57. We'll have to come back and look at that. JCPenney is an absolute nightmare. But did it stay under? No. Oh, well, what were the numbers I put? 1840. Shoot. I don't remember what numbers I said. 1840 was what I wanted to see. It got 5 cents over it. So we couldn't be in it. Really could have gone up to 1850 if it wanted to, though. And the market's just strong. So the longer the Qs sit here and base, they're going to break out. Now, I don't know if they're going to sit here and keep basing or come in a little bit, but the longer they sit here, look, this goings on here is strong. This gap down and a rally, this holding, as long as this holds in here, we're going to break out today. Do you see this? Look at this. That is something else. All right, so just be patient. This is nothing to be crazy about. I actually lowered my stop on QLGC to $9.76. I have it 1 penny above the original base here. I'm not giving it any cushion. I gave it 5 cents before. I probably didn't even need to give that. Just in case it wants to go back up here. And the reason is because I don't want to really put it tight above here. I didn't do the ad because if it goes back up there and wants to retest it before it goes, I don't want to get booped out by a penny, okay? And I'm risking 3 cents, and I didn't do the ad, so my risk now is less than half of what the original trade was. So, this either plays out or I lose 3 cents. Big whoop-de-doo. And I'm trying to eat what I can out of this. Why? Because this thing is not going to move like a monster. Okay, this is just going to do what it's going to do here today. So you either make a little bit, you could have been all out into here. Hard and fast exit sign, words you take some out in there. I didn't want to do it because I do think this gets to 950. And that's literally nothing crazy, but at least I can make something today. All right? Something, anything on a day where there's nothing. And you could have done the ad. I mean, I'm sure that this holds. Okay, so the volume has tripled since the open. That's a good sign. Yeah, Darren is saying 2 hours is nothing to sneeze at. No, you know, considering that this, on a day where you're doing something where you expect nothing, okay, which, hey, the one thing I rated isn't going to work. And I never took a trade in it. And we will go over that. But the reality is I really am playing out today now to just eke what I can out of this thing without being piggish. And then that's it. I'm calling it a day. All right. So I didn't even do any ads. There's no reason to play this hard. It's an easy peasy, but I got to, you know, stay in it to get the move. Here, this is fine. Boy, my instinct told me this was going to work today. We talked about it. Okay. So let's see if the market's going to hold this area or not. Is it going to keep getting bought or not? Let's see. Look, every time it comes in, it keeps getting bought. All right, so actually on the 5-minute, under 65 is another trigger. 964, if you're really in desperation, you have to do something today. You've got to make anything out of nothing. You could add more under 64. I mean, this is triggering every time frame now. Look at the 15-minute is great. 15 minutes beautiful, 30 minutes beautiful. My instinct trumped me today because otherwise I wouldn't have bothered with this. If we hadn't done the QNTP, we wouldn't be in anything. We wouldn't be up at all, okay? Here, just triggered on the 5. Triggered on the 5, 962 is a low. When it breaks it, let's see if we can get it right all the way to 950. Nice little Monday morning. This is going to be a good week. There's going to have some stuff this week that moves, and we can make anything in a Monday morning when there's crap and carefully assume and assess our risk. We're good traders, all right? So that's the other reason I lowered the stop. But I'm not doing the ads. What was the other one that we were watching? There was something else we were watching today. What was it? Now, the TXN didn't play out. TXN did not play out. This reverse swooshed and is ugly. CPB gapped up, but it wasn't a good bullish gap. Look at that. We can go look at that one. Here's another one of these ones. Here's another one of these ones. Just like, whatchamacallit. Can't even think of the name. Maybe actually all the way there almost. This is just one of these, like a CSC, $46. Look, this could get to $45.30 today. Look, this is exactly like the CSC. Failure, bullish gap, failure, immediate failure, open to do a reverse swoosh in the opposite direction you're looking to play the stop, and this will keep going. If it actually breaks under here, no, it's almost under it, 47. If it breaks 47, it'll see 46 today. Yeah, 47 is the first target, though. Here it is. I'm not even watching my trade. Hold on. SWKS. Nope, I didn't really do anything. Alrighty. So, in a little teeny weeny bit, we're going to have to lower the stop again. So, right now we have it at 76, which is a 3-cent risk. This triggered on here. Did it go anywhere? No. Does it matter? No. It's too early. 950. You're short this, Mark. What are you doing with this? This is a reverse swoosh. Don't let this do a 2-minute buy setup. Where's your stop? Don't let it go over this bar. If this bar flips here and has a tail and goes green, I'd be out. If you insist on doing this, the stop has to be over 571 plus a spread. Careful, careful. I see what you see in here, but remember the reverse swoosh trumps everything. Careful. All right, this is very nice. No stress, low stress Monday morning. And that SWKS. No, what was the one? I'm sorry, not SWKS. I just had it. CPB. There. Okay, there. I just got to the target. I just said we could have just shorted it and made a quick 30 cents. So let's see if it breaks 47. If it breaks 47, $46, $46.25, $46 and possibly 45. This is exactly like CFC. It's a bullish gap failure. How do I know? Opened and did a reverse swoosh. I also know it's a piece of crap as far as bullish gaps go. And you can almost just bet the farm on these things. EW fell to a new low. Did you do EW? Good job. Did you do this, Vinny? Travis was watching it. It has volume in it now. Really kind of too thin in here. I would never have done it in here, but you could have done it in here. Tell me where you got in this, Vinny. Tell me where you got in this. I want to just manage my trade here. All right, not doing anything wrong. Stay in this, looking for a break of 962. Where did you get in this, Vinny? Those of you that like this stuff, okay, that you see the setups, can do it on your own. You can do it on your own without me. You guys know. You guys that have conviction in something got to work with it. And what's the worst thing that could happen? You take 100 shares. The worst thing that could happen is you make $1. Okay, the worst thing that could happen is you make $1. So tell me where you got in this and why you got out. Look, held $67. Look at that. Opened at 67 and dropped. Just opened at $67 and dropped. And I had it on the watch list this morning anyways. How would you have known it was going to work? Boom, right there as soon as it opened. As soon as it opened, and then it went to set up, and then it rallied back and couldn't go any higher, and then every single second along here. It was great. I didn't want to do it for one reason and one reason only. I trade terrible if I don't take any size in something. I almost don't care enough about it. I don't want to participate in something that's thin. This had 56,000 shares, I think, at one point. But this is great. It's going to continue to fall. It's not even at the target today. $65 at least. $64.50. Tell me what you did with this, Vinny. Where did you short it and kill it? All right, what are we doing here? Nope, didn't break yet. Didn't break yet. This is really not a proper thing to do. So I don't really want to, I really do not want to lower the stop too tight over there. But I'm thinking 970, 973-ish. 973. We put it back at break even. Let's leave it. I'd rather risk 3 cents than put it at break even. Good. The good learning experience. It's good to sometimes do stuff. If you play it tight, then you learn and you don't get hurt. We'll go back and go over this mark. But Vinny, where did you take this and kill it? This is so important. You saw it. It did it. It's keeping going. It's going. There's only one reason I didn't like this today, which was low volume, so I didn't want to play it. $65 it will get to today and possibly another buck. 66.30. Here, and then you, because it did this, you got out. All right, we're gonna go over this. We're gonna go over this. We're gonna go over this again. Travis, did you do it? You liked it too. All right, just let this thing go. We're not changing our stop. Look at this beautiful market. Strong, strong, strong. Actually, if we continue acting in this way, in this fashion, we could break out today. It continues to base here. We're either going to be flat the rest of the day like this, hanging in midair but green, or we break out. That's what the market's going to do. Hang in midair, green and strong, or break out like a banshee. Either one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for what we're doing. One very important thing about reverse swooshes, first of all, everybody knows the deal with these, and you can't do them. And you know, the once in a blue moon time that I've done them, was, you know, I took the trade knowing that it had a higher odds of failing than working, okay? But something in my gut made me do it, but I was prepared to take the loss. Now, one thing, when something reverse swooshes in a bullish market, you can't do it. You don't. You never do it from now until the rest of the year, and you may as well just say the rest of your life. In a bullish market, when something reverse swooshes, don't do it. Because things, when they get a lift then with this market, if they're not weak enough to hold the weakness, which in this case this was not, you can't play against it. Why? Because the market wants to push it up. The market is trying to give things a lift, even things that are a piece of crap. And this is a piece of crap. This chart is lower. It absolutely is. It's just not working today. Okay, but the fact is the market and these stocks look for any excuse to give stuff a lift, and even stuff that's crappy right now. That's why we can only play into weakness. And when something shows it's not weak, right away, don't do it because the market's bullish. Ah, look at this. Ed, you were wanting to do the CSC the other week, even though I don't do these. You wanted to do it. You could have just said, when I said it was going to go, you could have just shorted it in the thin air and done it. It's broken 47, so let's just see where it's going. There's nothing to do. You can't do it now. The entry was immediately 46.60. And if this breaks $46, it'll see $45, $20, $45 today. I don't know if there'll be any entry to do it. I just... Where was the entry? Shorted immediately, 30-cent stop on the open, very aggressive. Have to know the fact that it was a crappy bullish gap to do it. This isn't my play. And if you didn't understand any of that but knew how to read gaps and knew it was a piece of crap, you could have done it right in here. You could have done it right in here and put the stop immediately. Immediately over 33, so tight. Why would you have done that? Knowing this was risky, knowing that it could have held, but knowing that it wouldn't because it was a bad gap anyways. You could have put the stop right, you could have put the stop at 48.35 and shorted it right there on the break of 25. 26, you could have done it. It never backed up. You would have done it and immediately made $1 without hesitating. This was the entry. This is aggressive. Here you do it. No second chances. Why? Pop, 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 pop. Has to go. Doji. You're in. It runs, and the time of the day was what? Good time of the day. Not even watching my trade. And we almost broke the low of the day. You guys got to tell me. All right, under 962. Under 962. Is anybody in this with me? This is a rinky dinker, but it's paying 950. That's it. All out at 950 unless it breaks it and wants to keep going, and then I'll just take it off a little bit. There we go. Mark's in it good. Darren's in it good. So here we have it. Nice little trade. Easy peasy on a Monday morning when the market's what? Strong. Strong. You see the difference? Look at this. Look at this. And this. All right. Everybody should be in this because this wasn't like stressful and it had a small stop. All right. We're going to be out of this soon here though. Okay. 950. 950. I'm all out if it bounces or I get one smidgen of a green. Time of the day, 10:01. This drop happened into 10 o'clock. Setup happened at 9:45 into 10 o'clock. This is probably going to bounce here soon. Here. Okay, we're almost going to be out of this. I'm going to try to wait till the 1 minute bar closes. If it wasn't Monday morning, I would have done every ad in this to make more out of it, but Monday mornings don't feel like being aggressive. Beautiful trade. Beautiful little trade. All right, so we're not going to sweat bullets over 3 cents. This bar closes. Let's see how this next bar opens. 53. This next bar opened. 10:02. I don't see the next bar. I don't want to be in this in a rally. Let's see what this bar does. This bar has to go open it down immediately. The open in this bar actually is 55. 56 or 57, I'm going to be out of this. I'm not letting it go over the open of that bar there. Okay. It's set up at 9:45 and dropped into 10 o'clock, and it's 4 cents away from the target. Could this go to $9 today? Yes. You know, am I going to be in it for the whole move now? And it didn't break 50. Okay, 50 has to be broken to even get to 9. 50 is a big number. I'm out. I'm out of it. I took it. I should have took it in there. I should have took it right in there. I was almost thinking about doing it. See where I got filled. I got various fills between 56 and 58. All right. In the moment I was thinking about taking it off, I should have just pressed it. But I was going to get out of it at 57 anyways, okay? That's it. That was the trade, okay? That was it. If it was going to break under 50, I think it would have done it, all right? And if it sets up again and does want to break 50, I'll be out. So tried to squeeze as much as I could out of it. Literally gave back like 5 cents on the whole thing in here to try to hang in for this to break through. But I wasn't going to hang in over 57 anyways, okay? So you bar by bar this anyways. You could have put your stop over this bar here. This one opened, okay? For some reason, this opened late by the time the clock was there, and then this one opened really quickly next. I was thinking about getting out of it. I thought about it 1 millisecond too long, but really, you know, all in all, I only gave back in totality between 4 cents and 5 cents if I had gotten out of the low in here. That's it. That's it. I'm not doing another trade today. If this resets up again, I'll do it, but I don't think it breaks 950 now. It should have done it. But we'll keep watching it, though. Look, this is what I'm looking at, okay? So it didn't break it. We'll keep watching it, but that was it. That's probably my day in there. All right. So, you know, in the millisecond I thought about taking it, it went green immediately. I pressed it as soon as I saw it go green, which I said I was going to do. And I said it wasn't going to stay in and over 957. I said this morning I was going to do hard and fast reversal rolls. You could have taken some off in here, but I'm like, no, it's going to keep going. So then I stayed in it, lowered the stop, lowered the stop, lowered the stop, got the break. Look, you know, this is small. This is a little jiggy. This is not something that's going to run like $10 in the day. All right, so that's it. I'm out. I got filled a couple different prices, but all in all, nice little easy trade. We'll go back and look and see if that sets up again, but I don't think it breaks 950 today. I think that was it. That was the trade. All right, and we could have played that harder with ads, but not in a Monday morning. Not in a Monday morning in a bullish market that's going to break over the high of Friday. Here it is. Let's watch. Here we go. There it goes. There it goes. So, I was just talking about this 5 minutes ago. There it goes. Market's going to run. Market's going to run over 33. If anybody's in any longs, you just hold them. And nobody should have gotten out of any longs anyways. I've been talking all morning about how bullish the market is. So we take the shorts that we get if they're quality gaps and we play them. And there was nothing quality today. The one quality thing, reverse swoosh, we didn't do it. I managed to make something out of nothing of a QLGC on low volume. We did it. We're out. That's another reason that's pulling up a back against itself too. Look at this now. This is everybody didn't react and getting the stops pushed out of here. Look. Held 970 though, look. I'm not going to redo this. I'll look at it and watch it. If it wants to redo it, if it holds 970, this is going to go back down again and maybe retest the low and maybe touch down to 950, which it didn't. I'm not going to reshort it. I will call a second setup in here, and if I see it, it actually held 970. It held where the stop would have had to be over here, 972, actually. It actually held. Look at that. Let's look at the one that failed. Okay, market's rallying now. This broke down through, broke under 47, rallying back. Is this still shortable? If it sets up. Why? Because it broke 47. It did get down in here to the first target, though. Look. 46.45. I'll go back and look at that. So the market is over the high from Friday. It's just nothing but strong. Just complete and total bullishness all around. And Aaron's hanging in there. I mean, look how, you know, weak this is compared to the market. But at this point now, I wouldn't do, oh, look at this. Did it get to 65? It got within 19 cents. I mean, if you did this trade, you had to be out of it. Let's go over this first. I'm not going to do anything else today. I'm going to look at the QLGC and see if I see a second setup. Okay, I'm going to look at the CPB to see if I see a setup, which is not my play. Okay, you're basically playing the failure in here. But I'll call a trade if I see one for those of you that want to do this thing. Other than that, there's nothing to do. EW has fallen, got within 19 cents of the target, could set up again. I can watch this. This is enough volume now. Anyone could do it. It's going to be over 300,000 today, 500,000. All right, so you could do it. And XMPT is a bust. All right. Okay, so let's go over the EW first. Did anyone actually do this? Did anyone do this? Vinny, besides Vinny, because Vinny I know did actually tackle it and then killed it. I want to go over that, but Travis liked it too. Did anyone take it and get the train? You know what I just realized? What about Infi? What did that do today? Hold on. Infi's rallying back. All right, I guess nobody did it. Let's go over the EW. I guess nobody did it. Okay, so I like this morning as a continuation gap. Okay, why? From the original gap that happened, it was a great gap. Okay, it was a really good gap. So from the original gap that happened and the way that it continued and broke on through, the target that we wanted to see in the day of the gap it could have gotten to, which was at least 63, 62.50, 62. By the time it came on down here, it almost got to 62. Even the way that it hung on here and the market was breaking out all this time was very weak. Now, this is the reason people think gap fills work, but they don't, okay? All this did was rally. I know it went over the gap here. Does it matter? No. Why? This wasn't the first gap in the chart. Wasn't near the first gap in the chart, so it's going to reel and jiggle, all right? So this is not an entry really to hold something on a swing trade or core trade to think you're not going to get, wiggle and jiggle. So your whole way you play these things is different if it's not the first entry. But this rally out was nothing but a setup to go lower. Same thing in Apple, same thing in a million things we've seen, all right? The metals, everything, okay? So you could have shorted this where? You could have entered this and shorted this. You're playing the gap. The strategy is still the gap. If you don't hold this through this rally, if you absolutely say, I'm just going to get out break even and get out in here, you don't give up on it, or you suffer through the rally, okay? Or you take some off in here. And as soon as this bar goes green in here, you could be thinking about taking some off. Here you would have thought it was lower, but when it did this and scooped right here, you would have been out. You could have been out here with profit, actually, on the swing trade. Now, if it gets over itself, you look to get back in it. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. It didn't do anything wrong. You get back in it, okay? You get back in it when it triggers again, and you look for it to break, and it will break through here. So we were watching it, and we talked about this. We could have played it every single solitary day. Actually, 61, 61.30 is the next area. Now, how would you have noticed was good today? I liked it because I wanted to get the full-on break. This way this set up the day before was really nice. It looked like it was going to continue. When it opened today and held $67, that was an immediate sign. If I really wanted to do this in no volume, I would have seen that immediately. And we'll go look at it in the one. It opened right at the whole number and held the whole number. Opened right at the whole number and held the whole number. Okay. So then you look at the trade. So we looked at it. I liked it. Vinny was watching it. This is very aggressive. Why? Low volume, but there was nothing wrong with the trade. And you put the stop over 67 and it can't violate it. And it sets up and it's set up in here again. And even if you took this trade, and even if you took this trade, you got paid immediately. You actually never lost in it. Sometimes the aggression pays. You have to know what you're doing and you can't do it at all. You must be aggressive if you want to get paid sometimes, but you have to know what you're doing. So you don't take full size if you want to do it. Take what you can, be out of it, into the first drop. Then what happened here, rallied back, okay? Vinny shorted it in here. I see what you did, okay? It made perfect sense, but the stop was too tight. Why? Continuation gap, and more importantly, low volume. When something is low volume, it's not going to hold these kind of tight stops. Not into this kind of thing like this. And actually, it only went over it by a little teeny weeny bit, 6 cents. 41 and a half, 47. So I see what you did. You were up, flipped back on through, you killed it. You could have reshorted it. When it came back down on top of here, you could have reshorted it and then put the stop over here. All right. In fact, what's the spread in this? The spread isn't bad. I don't know what it was this morning. What was the spread this morning? Was it like this? Well, now here it is, 3 cents. You could have gotten right back into it. You could have just gotten right back into it, the same price you get out of it, and let it roll. And it ran a buck after that. So here's where it pops some people out. Okay. It's so, you know, this is why it's hard to go full throttle and stuff with low volume. It's just, I can't do it. But it doesn't mean the trades don't set up. And this didn't do anything wrong here. Okay. This is breaking the whole way through. So learn from this. You are seeing the things, Vinny. You have a good eye, okay? You either don't have conviction and do it when you see all this going on. You grab in late, that's fine, but then give it a little wiggle jiggle room. In the moment this happened, I bet it happened quick. I bet this thing happened so fast that it barely had time to breathe, and then you could have hit it right again. Like this happened fast, I bet. Then you had time and you had time and you had time, you had 4 whole minutes in here to do something, to get back into it, to see that this was just a pop on through. So even if you took the stop, you said, I swear to gosh, you know, I'm just going to do this, but I'm going to be so tight because it's low volume. So do it, take the stop, get right back in. You shouldn't be in this full throttle with huge size or volume anyways. So then you just take the stop and get back in, knowing that the target was what? Actually, let me look at QLGC again and see if it's setting up. Yeah, this is, I mean, I am not going to go back into this, but if you insisted on doing something today, you know, 63 actually just, it's set up in here at 63, stop would have to be 73. I think this is done though. I mean, I think to do this to get down for 10 cents is kind of silly. This could go to $9 today. This could go to $9, but unfortunately, if you did this now, the stop would have to be 73. It's a 10 cents risk. Is that worth it to make 10 cents? No, but if it goes to $9, it's worth it. So decide what you're prepared to do. You can't put the stop tight over here, though. This is probably going to back up and retest in here again. The entry here in the 2 was 63, and the entry in the 5 was 60. So it's really right at the entry in the 5. Stop has to be 73. Sorry, I was talking. I would have given the exact numbers on this, though. Wouldn't have done this in here. You would have had to wait for the 2 and the 5, but they're both setting up. This is good. If this breaks under and goes to $9, this is nice in here because it's a 10 cents risk to make 60 cents, but it isn't going to do that today. You have to decide. I'm not going to go back in and do another trade in this today because I don't want to play against the market in something like this that doesn't have a huge target that I have to get it to the big target in order to make the risk to reward. But this is not bad. I just don't think you can put the stop tight here. Maybe it'll back up a little bit and get it back up in the 63, 62. So it's your call if you guys want to redo that. Okay. All right. So you would have done this and you would have slammed back on it. I'll go back and look at that in a minute. I'll go back and I wanted to talk about QGLC and then I thought, gosh, I better look at that. And then it did retrigger in there. But you know, you could still take it. You could still take the trade now and put the stop at 73. The only reason you'd retake this trade is if you had 100% conviction, it would go to $9. If you don't, you retake the trade not to get it to the low of the day or 950. You retake the trade for the big on target, in which case it's 3 cents past the entry price. Just hit it. All right, you're in it to get it to the full on target. I don't have 100% conviction it's doing that today, so I didn't retake it. I'll go over that in a minute though. You're in this trade through this break in here to get this down to here. So 65.40 is the first target, then $65 is a whole number, and 64.70 in here. It actually got, no, it didn't get quite to 65. Okay, but I do think this gets to 65 today. Just let it keep dropping. So at the moment you were thinking about hitting this in here, you had 65 in your as the target. It was worth it to hit it again to make $1.30, okay, on a 20-cent stop. Even if you rehit it, okay? So this is a good these continuation gaps can't be played the exact same as the new gaps in the sense that you do have to give the stops a little bit more room. That's the problem with these. Okay, you have to give the stops a little bit more room to do things like tails and stuff. That's why I didn't really I gave this 5 cents over the number in there. That was a lot for me and something that really just only had a penny spread. This will be hilarious if this goes to $9 today. It's good. It's good. I'm not redoing it. I'm being conservative today, but there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so let's look at it. But let's go over it from the beginning. If you want back in this, you got to be in it, though. I mean, you got to be in it since 5 minutes ago when I said you could just hit it. The stop's over here. The fact that it held the resistance exactly is really beautiful, actually, especially with the market rallying. But, you know, I'm not going to be greedy today, all right? The only way this gets to the target is if it breaks 950, which it very well might do. Did anyone retake it or not? So what I liked about this morning was it had 200 shares in it this morning. It wasn't even doing anything. It sat here. It wasn't even moving. And I said I liked it. Why? Liked the chart. Loved the chart. Loved everything about it. Saw that it was actually had a report for a reason. And I said, you know what? This is going to play out. You can't be aggressive on it until it opens and starts to trade volume. But I even did call a trade in this with low volume. There wasn't a crazy amount of volume in this when I actually took it. There was enough, but not crazy. Okay. Gerard still has a third of it. Good for you. Stop's got to be over 73 now, though. When this happened immediately, I liked it. I had the 100% conviction of the fall on break on through here to actually work today, that it would break the 68. I anticipated the break in the trade that I took here. You had no time to do the ad even. You would have had to just have the order out ahead of time or just take it in here. Okay, this could have been played harder today, but I'm being conservative. Called the entry. Hopefully everybody got it. Gave enough time. Gave it room. I gave this to 80. Did that need 80? No. The stop could have been at 77 on this. It could have been 77. But I wanted to give it 80 in case it wanted to do some little rinky-dink tail. And why? Thin. Thin. It was thin. So I gave it 80. Sized it for that. Moved quick and fast. Said you could have taken some off in here. I said, you know what? I'm not going to. Waited, let it trail back up in here, okay? Then I'd still give it room. I put the stop 1 penny over here. Still could have done an ad in here. It actually worked. The ad in here worked. I didn't do it. Could have done the other ad in here. Could have done that if you did the ad. You have to put the stop over here. And you know what? It's still even held. Still even held. Steve, if you're trying to write a question, I can't see it. I only see a dot. If you have a question, let me know. Anyways, fell off in here. I was looking for the break of 50. As soon as this thing, perfect exit actually. Upset that I didn't get out right here, 55. I thought about it for 1 millisecond too long, but luckily I did get out because look what happened after I got out. Like in the moment that I said I'm out, I'm taking it, boo! That's what it did. You would have suffered. So anyways, I wanted to break on 50. As soon as it didn't do it, into the reversal time, into this nice fall, into the bleed. While this is happening, the market's breaking out, broke over the high of Friday. I wanted to follow through. It doesn't keep breaking new lows. I'm out. I'm not looking for a big target. You take half out if you want. Trail the rest down. I took the whole thing off. I said, I'm not being piggish today. I'll take what I can get. That's it. Michael had a nice day and he's going back to bed. That's fine. So anyways, this popped up and held the resistance. Again, these are areas, 70.5, 70. Beautiful. Went up half a penny over. That's why you got to give it a 2-3 penny cushion. And, you know, this is just, I wouldn't have reshorted this in here. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done this at all. I just wouldn't have done it. But the entry really is the retest mark. You would have had the confirmation it was going to go back down when it didn't get over the number. Boom, that's it. When it didn't get over the number and it held, boom, that's it. That's it. You short it. You short it. Confirmation. You can take it in here. This is aggressive. And I don't do this on days like today, but you could have done it. That was the entry. You'd be up or ready again. Stops nothing. Okay. Now, other than that, you get the retest up to here. You're watching this trade. You're looking for another entry. What do you want to do? Okay. You can wait till it triggers on the 2 or the 5. But the real entry was this. It's probably going to push back up in here. But if it does a 5-minute buy setup over 62 without breaking a new low, the trade's done. Unless it happens in another tail. I actually think this is going to hold, though. I actually think it's going to hold and continue down and bleed a little bit more. But if I thought it was going to break 50, I'd still be in it. I think if it was going to break 50, it would have done it in here, actually. But it's got to do it soon if it's going to. Why? Almost 11 o'clock. Almost 11 o'clock. All right. The only way to do this today was with the numbers. And we were aggressive when we did it this morning, actually, with the numbers. Why? We preempted the break. We actually preempted the break. We took it before it broke. Okay? I just had conviction in it. I love the chart and the weakness and everything about it. As long as this doesn't do a 5-minute buy setup in here, this is going to go back down. So let's see. If it does some kind of crazy tail again, they'll be off of it. That tail formation traded on the 1 minute as people covering into the drop, and then the market was rallying. That's okay. And that's why it looks like an ugly tail on the 5 and the 15, but you can see it in the 1, it doesn't look ugly. But this should not really actually happen again. And if it does, I wouldn't do it. And if you insist, you could do a sandwich in here if it holds. But again, you would not retake this trade or even still be in any of it unless you thought it was going to get to $9. Otherwise, there's no reason. You take this off, you call it a day. All right? No reason unless you think it's going to get on through. Where's the $9? Here. Beautiful. If it was a Monday morning, if this had a million volume in it, if the market wasn't bullish, this would already be at $9. It's 10.26. This would already have broken 9.50 and been running. We'd be getting ready to get out of it soon at $9 if it was a different environment. What? More people had this on the radar. More people being screaming memes, getting out of this. The market not being bullish. Not a Monday morning. That's the problem with Monday mornings. By the time these things have a report that comes out, if they're not noticed, if nobody notices them, then they don't do anything. Like this will continue tomorrow. Actually, if this does not get to $9 today, this will continue tomorrow, because people will see this tonight and they'll be like crap, and then they'll get out of it. It could even gap down tomorrow or gap neutral and then break on through tomorrow. You could hold this overnight. If this doesn't get to $9 today, you can take this overnight. It's not going anywhere but down. Tricky market. Tricky, but higher. Okay. All right, so if you're still in some of this, I'd put the stop, the stop could be over 72, but you're going to get back then too much profit if you stay in this. I would really probably put the stop about 962, 963. Okay. So the EW we went over, the QLGC we went over. Oh, I wanted to look at this for you guys. Let me think a minute. You know, 19 by 30, 19 by 32, 19 by 32. If you really want it there, just hit. Sorry. 19 by 32. It triggered in the moment I said it. Sorry. I wanted to give you the numbers, and I said the numbers, and then it triggered immediately. Forgot to go back and look at this, but that was it. And you don't give it the pivot up here. It's this. That's it. That's why I said 32. You don't give it up here. There's no way. Can't back up at all anymore if it's going to keep rocking and rolling. So the risk to rewards here, it's $1. So if you still want to hit it in here, it's past the price, but only by 6 cents. Stop has to be 32. It's a 20-cent risk with the possibility of it running $2. It has to break 46. Hold on. It has to break 46, 45, 46, 50. If it does that, it will see this number today. Okay? If it doesn't do that, it won't. So that's why you're tight with the stop in there. I only gave it 3 cents over the number in there. Maybe you'll get another entry in here. Cannot do a 5-minute buy setup. So the stop has to be here. Not the pivot. Here. No exceptions. Why? It might be done. If it's not done, it's going to keep getting sold off on every single chance it gets. Let's talk about this. That was it. That was the entry. I'm sorry I couldn't give you guys more time. There. Did anybody do it? I said you could have taken it even with 6 cents after. You know, these things trigger fast. Anyways, that was it. So, this failed as a bullish cap. Let's go over this. Did anyone just do that now, or nobody cares because it was too much past it? I mean, you can wait to see if it gets back up there, but it may not. It may not now. I think it broke 47, did it? No, but close. All right, you may get another chance. You may get another chance. So 19 was the entry. Just can't get over here, though. Can't get over 30 no matter what. Or it's done. Let's see. All right, so let's look at the reason this is doing this in the first place, though. Here, you may get another chance to redo this. This is not my thing. I don't play failures. I see them, I spot them, I know that they're not good gaps, I know they're going to fail, I see it happening, I see the reverse swoosh, I see everything. I don't do this. If you want this trade, you take it now, put the stop at 32. This is your last chance to get it if it's going to work. And you're taking it at the price. You're not taking it based on the bars. The bars mean nothing here. It's the price. It's got to hold, okay? But if you don't take it in here now, if you really want it, you aren't going to get it. And if it fails, it fails. Just like the original play, you could have just taken it in there. All right? But this pop back up is going to be your last chance to get it. The 5-minute bar isn't going to close for 4 more minutes, so you can't really wait for that. You can wait to see if this one closes. But that if this is going to work, this is it. This is all you're going to get. So, you know. The stop has to be here. Look, over these people. Can't go over these people. Actually, this isn't, it's really not a bad risk reward in here at all. 15 cents is the stop there at this price to get it down. All right, let's go over the failure. So that has to hold in there. If it doesn't, it's done. This, actually, look where it's rallied back. This is another reason why it has to hold in here. See this? This has to hold in here because I saw it on the lower time frames, but look at it on the bigger time frame. It's there too. See that? The bottom of that tail. Right in there. So it has to hold here for a million reasons. That's the resistance. If it goes above that, it is done for the day, but I don't think it is. Let me look at the market quick. Okay, maybe I can call a 15-minute entry in this, but not right now in the QLGC. You're still in this if you like it. You're still in this if you like it. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That was it. Did anyone do it? I told you. You want it, you do it. You get a second chance, there was your chance. That's it. Did anyone do that trade? That was it. Stop over 32. When it backed up there in the 20s, that was a gift from God to re-get it up in there. This is why you don't chase stuff either. You either take it or you just wait for the retest, and if it doesn't give it to you, then you're out. I mean, then you don't do it. So this thing is lower. It has to hold 32 though. All right. So anyways, let's go back and look up at this. So it has to hold this number. Its resistance is the bottom of the tail. It can't get over this in any of the lower time frames or the bigger time frames. So it's good as long as it stays under the area around that 30-ish number. The high 20s, low 30s. Ed's in it. Yeah, Ed's been dying to do these ones ever since he's seen how good they work. What do I mean? Meaning the, you know, crush through the follow through, the momentum that's happening for one reason and one reason only. Why? The stock failed on a bearish gap. I mean, a bullish gap. Look at this thing. This is not what I do. This is absolutely not what I do. The stock's in an uptrend, and it gapped up today. Was this a buy? No. Why? Because if you rated the gap, it wouldn't have rated good enough to buy it. All right? How would you have known? Even if you liked it, what would you have done? You would have waited and look, it reverse swooshed. We'll go over it in 1 minute. But the bottom line is you should have never bought it. You should have never bought it. You can't buy it. This isn't a buy today. That's the only reason I even called a trade to go short in it if you want to. Why? Because no one's going to buy this today. So the trade is either over to the downside and went to the full on target and that's it, or it's just going to pitter around here like a dead animal, and it's not going to go anywhere the rest of the day because this isn't getting bought. It's not going to get bought even in this market. Not today. I'm not saying forever. I'm saying today. Today, today, today. Okay? This will not go green today. It will close with red. This hit on a number. That could be it. But many times what happens, and we've seen this, and CSC was a good example last week, and there's a million others. Many times what happens is people get so beat up, okay, by buying this in here, which we'll go over in the smaller time frames, that they insist that it's now going to get bought and they will not get off of it. They insist that it's going to get bought and they will not get off of it. Would you ever buy something that looked like this at 10:35 in the morning? If you trade with me, you wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole as a buy. You can't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Look, your day should be done, and you're not looking to go against a bar like this. So this is either going to follow through, okay, which is the trade that I called. 46 is the first number actually, and then down in here. Or it's done, and it's just going to kind of just hang here. Boop. Like maybe rally back up to here and then come in back down. I do think this retests the low of the day. It's got to break through the low of the day to continue. All right, so this was not a good bullish gap. You wouldn't have bought it. You shouldn't have bought it. How would you have known? Let's look at the 1 minute. Boy, these charts are setting up nice in here, though. Okay, let's look. So this, you know, this area up in here is one area of resistance. The reason I called the trade, which actually triggered like in the millisecond that I called it down in here, was because I saw this base area here and felt that this shouldn't rally back more than that, this base, okay, which 29 was the high of this base. No, 30. 30 was the high of this base. So just retested it here. Boy, if that holds there, this is really, really lower. Let's see if it holds. Should not go back up here, okay? Should not. So I'm fine with something falling through and then backing up against it, but it can't continue higher then or it's not going to work. When something falls through and backs up against it, it's retesting it. Is that okay? Yes. Can it continue to retest this area? No. If it does that, it's not going to work. Oh, no, it's done. Not going to work. That's it. It was over. So I hope you had a hard stop in there, Ed. What did that go up to? 38. Nope, it's done. Shouldn't have gone over 30. All right, let's go over the morning play in this anyways. So these are worth, good, you had a hard stop and good. These are worth the risk to reward to do though, because they just can continue and just go into targets you could never even dream of. In fact, let's look at CSC. What kind of a move did it actually make on the day? Let me just see here. Forget if it went $5 or something. No, it went $7. See, this is one where, look, kept going to every single place. This is a short again when it sets up. This is getting ready to do another short in here. Look, people are buying this. It's insane, but people are. It's insane, but people do. But it's lower. Yep, see here, this is why you put the stop over here. Look, it's even going to go over 40. It's done. This looks terrible now on the 15. We'll go over that. So that's what the stop had to be 30. Every once in a blue moon, you can play tight later in the day. Why? Because the thing is at a place where it has one option, continue or fail. And if it doesn't, if it violates the stop, then it's going to fail. All right. But the 15 looks ugly now. This opened and did this thing here, and you would have seen this, and it didn't look that bad. Say you really wanted this, and you really wanted to go long it. Oops. I say, wait a minute, I think it's going to work. Ah, crap. Now you have a problem. It's opened and ran down now 60 cents. Is that the end of the world? No, not necessarily. But there was no reason for it to come in at all. Why? The gap itself was just right at a placement. It should have just opened and gone immediately. It looked like it was going to, but then didn't. And then all of a sudden you get this. Okay. So it reverse swooshed immediately. So aggressive to short it on this low in here. There's no reason to really do that unless you really are playing the failure as your strategy, which I don't do, and I don't think people should do. But you can. You can. I think it's better odds of making money playing the actual gap in the right direction to work. But you can play the failure. Rallies back up here. You do it. You do it right in here in the doji. Again, tight stop. Tight stop over 33. 35, you put it. Runs right down. You're all out of the whole trade really in here. How would you even know who's going to do that? You'd be out of the whole trade or 75% of the trade in here. You put the stop over here. You eke a little bit more out of it. Squeeze out 50 more cents if you can. There's no reason you'd stay in this through this flip. You'd be out. Boy, I can't believe this. Is this actually going to reset up here at the 40 number? This 15 minute looks terrible. I don't think it's going to work. This is just, I'm not going to call another trade in this, but the reason is because of this 15 minute. This looks great. Rallies up here. Holds here, looks great. Like this, it sets up on the lower time frames, runs down, does not break the whole number in here. Do I think it's going to? Sure, but then it doesn't. Backs up and doesn't hold 30. Backs up and holds 40. Looks like it's resetting up again, but this 15 minute looks awful. Absolutely horrific, and I wouldn't redo it. Could it work again? Yeah. It has to do some things to fix itself, so I wouldn't be back in this. You know, it's really actually held the 40 number. But I don't like the way that it looks in the 15 minute. I mean, I actually think you'd have to wait for the 15 minute setup now. And the stop would be big. You know, stop would be too big. Here's the 30. So I don't like the bigger time frames here except for the daily now. Everything looked great about 5 minutes ago. And the last 6 minutes, this is looking really crappy. But it's still held. Does this mean this is going to break on through? No. Remember, I said this is only going to do one of two things today. Follow through to the bigger target or just bat around in here. And I think that's just what it's going to do. I don't think it's going to have the play in it. It may retest down in here somewhere again, but not really break on through. In order to break on through, it would have had to continue breaking. Break, 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 break. And every rally would have been shortable and held. This rally should have been it. Now it rallied back again. I don't really want to see that. Yeah, have a good day, Darren. If your day is done, then be done. You know, this is not a day to trade all morning. You know. So I don't think this is doable again. All right. Could it go back down and retest the low of the day? Yes. Will the bar close red? Yes. But I don't think it's going to go to 45 now. It should have set up in there and held. Broke on nice after I called the trade. It broke the second I called it. Didn't hold. Got to take it off. Be out. All right. What was the other one I was going to go over today? XNPT. That was the other one. Let's look at QLGC. It's hanging in for you, Gerard. It's hanging in for you, Gerard. You know, it's up to you. Honestly, are you really going to hold this over the Abupa over here on the 15? Yeah. Beautiful trade and will break and get to $9, but I just don't think so today. But I would put the stop, if you really think it's going to, over at 63. And you get out with profit. Yeah. Don't think just because there's 2 red bars in the 15-minute, the market's coming in. Every time the market comes in, it gets bought. Every time the market comes in, it gets bought. Do we have a big green day yet? Is there a huge big green day yet? No, 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 no. I said, you know, neutral today. Even possibly pull in neutral slash bearish today for pull in. We didn't even do that. We gapped down and got bought immediately. Rallied over the high of Friday. We're not coming in today. Even though it looks like it made a little topping tail on the 15-minute, we're just going to come in a little teeny weeny bit and get bought again. We're not, I don't think we have a screaming Mimi day today, though, if we don't do it between now and noon. So we're just going to be neutral slash bullish in here today. That's the call for the market. It's just neutral slash bullish. I don't think we scream up with a big green day today. But you see how as extended as we keep getting, buying keeps coming in, nobody cares. All right. And eventually, like I said this morning, people will buy and they will decide to buy late, and it will push everything on up through. Let's look at A-Run. Well, you look at that. A-Run is holding. Even with the market doing this, it's holding the high of the day in here. So I don't think this is going to get any play in it today. All right. It's really not going to get the momentum or the follow through lower here today, but it's setting up like it will tomorrow, actually. As long as this holds the high of the day today here into the close, which was 1344, this is lower tomorrow. And that was it. One dinky little teeny weeny gap up today, and that falls on the open. This is lower than tomorrow. All right, let's go over the, let's look at the CPV quick again. It's just, I'd let it be. I'd lay off this. Wouldn't do anything with it. 15 looks crappy. All right, let's look at the XNPP. Oops. Woo, look at that. Ay, 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 ay. It's gone over the high day like 7,000 times. Actually went over $6. Ugh. So the reverse swoosh prevails once again. What is this designed to do? Keep you away if something's not working so you don't lose any money. Save your bullets. Save your bullets for days when the stuff is going to show that it's going to work. And it works just as good as a swoosh concept. Why? Because it's the same concept. All right, so gap down, I liked it. In fact, let's look at the overall picture here. What did it really look like since it opened? So we're watching this. This was right before the open. Bounced right off there, look. So in the morning, we were watching all this. We're watching it. I said, well, I like this. I like it. I like it. I like it. This is the only thing I'm watching. I like it. I like it. Opens and bounces right off of this. It was resistance this morning. Today it's support. Look, boop, bounce. Poof. The high of this is 505. The low of this bar here is 505. Perfect. Perfect failure, basically. And I did say that today it shouldn't go over 550. In fact, let's look at what I said it was supposed to do and see how badly it didn't work. No rally at all. Pfft. Look at the rally. No rally at all. Set up right away and go. Can be shorted into a rally no more than $5.50. Preferred 530, 525. Look, this is where I called the trade actually, but it never triggered because I saw it hold 30-ish in here. But look, 534 was the high of this bar. That wasn't a number. That wasn't a number. 538 was a number. 533 was a number. 530, 529, and 525. And I said 530, in an ideal world, it holds. It went 4 cents over it. No exceptions. Never triggered. Can't jump the gun. And I also said no reverse swooshes. And I said I wasn't going to participate in this if it did a crazy tail. And lo and behold, crazy tail. But it reverse swooshed. Now I see what Mark did. Okay, so let's go over what Mark was thinking here. It ran up hard. Okay, but it held $6. So you're thinking, wait a minute. Wait just a second. Then it goes back up in here and holds the high of the day and holds $6. And this is happening at what? A reversal time. Okay. So what price were you actually in this again, Mark? What was the time of your entry in here? Where did you actually take this? Are you there? I'm going over this for you because I think you're the only one that did this. Mark, are you there? Where was your actual entry on XNPT? All right, I see that you're there, but you must not be paying attention. If you hear me, write it in the room. I think you said it was in the... Oh, yeah, you're writing now. Okay. That's okay. I'm going over this for you because I want to show you what went on in here, and I want to see what your entry was. $5.66. All right, let's look at it. Yeah, all right, so I see it. So you know what? You want to do this? If you insist on doing it, the stop's over here, no exceptions. It's right here, up against itself. No room at all. Not a tail, not a thing, not an inch, not a wiggle, not a worm, nothing. Boom, that's it. You're in it. How would you know it's not going to work? Right in here. As soon as it went over here, you would have known it's not going to work. Actually, you could have killed it right in here even too and got out break even before it stopped you out, but you lose next to nothing even if it takes you out because you had a tight stop. I see what you did, but you don't hold it through this. You got out at 74, all right. Get out before you can get hurt. That's why you put the tight stop here, because when they're going to flip hard. Now, you got lucky in here. You had time, but then, boop, this is what happened. So this was what Mark saw. I see that. However, knowing that this is going on, knowing that the market's rallying, knowing all of this activity here, even this, let's go back and look at this. Even this isn't good. I gotta be honest with you here. This is not good. If something, I'm trying to makeshift an example here, you know, because there's not many times when I would even consider doing this. Again, like once or twice in a blue moon. Reverse swoosh, hard rally up, holds, comes in, retests and holds, not rallies back and retests the high again, not like this. Not does actually a buy setup here in the 1 minute. It wouldn't look like this. It would look like this activity right away after this and hold. It would do something like this. Gymongous thing. Come back down. Try to go higher, can't. Fall. Not do this again right after. This is a sign that, this is real. First of all, this is a sign it's real and a sign that needs to be given respect. But then when it says this, nope. This activity here, what you were playing into, I see what you saw. Take this, move it over here. That would have the follow through, maybe. Not after this the second time. Maybe. But not high odds because of this. And remember, no exceptions. If it ran up to $6 exactly and held, that's a different story. Did it do that? No. Okay, this is just rallying higher, and it's hitting at a different number every time. Okay. So it's not like it even ran up to anything that even made any sense, because it didn't even run up to the whole number on a reverse swoosh. But it clearly is a reverse swoosh, and you can't do it. And this is why you don't jump the gun on the entry. You have the number, you're getting ready. Ah, never set up, can't do it. And you see how this would have hurt you here. All right, this was problematic here. This was problematic in here for one reason why I didn't want to see this. I didn't want to see this to begin with. I had certain parameters figured out, and this was not one of them. It did not meet the requirements. Part of the parameters are show immediate weakness, set up right away, barely any rally, hold 530, hold 525. Nothing here. It's a mess. Yeah, I know you thought it was good, and it was if you were looking for something different, not a reverse swoosh play. And if you ever try to play back into it again, remember what I'm telling you about this activity. Remember, reverse swooshes shouldn't be played at all. Once in a blue moon, if they work, what do they have to do? Confirmation, 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 hit it. There has to be so many confirmations that have to happen in such a short time frame that if you don't know exactly what you're looking for and get everything instantaneously, they almost have to do the confirmation in every single thing that happens instantaneously. It would have to run up to a number, hold the number, set up a reversal time, hold right away, try to go, try to retest, set up and trigger, hold the number, go, have to have the market with it, do it, run hard, it would have to do everything in millisecond. All the confirmations would have to happen, boom, 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 go. And this didn't do it. It ran up here, came back in, then what? Ran up again. Wait a minute. No. Nice trading activity happens. Woo, do, boo, do. It's going up. The nice activity that flushes a thing that hits something that makes it go against it happens hard and fast against it, just like it happens hard and fast in the direction. So if something's going to reverse a hard and fast thing, it's going to reverse it hard and fast too. And if it doesn't, it's going to go do. I keep going. This kind of thing going against it has to go boom, boom, like that. In fact, what's the one? Let's go look at this. EDW sign up again. Travis, you know, you could be taking it. You know how to do these. Short it into the base up here. Stop over here. It's a breakdown play. You could have made 50 cents. I said the target was $65. You could have done it here. You could have done it here. You could have done it here. Did you do it? This is actually lower. What did I say was a number here? 64, $64.70, $64. And then he signed out already. These are good lessons. These are just good lessons. Such great lessons because you guys see it. You see it. You see it. You see it. You have to have conviction in yourself. And I know it takes practice, but this is part of trading. Travis, did you do it? You liked it. I went over it. You could have sat and watched it. I said I wasn't taking another play today, but that was my decision. Gerard, you got to be out of this now. What are you doing? Don't hold this. It's not going to go back down. It's done. Okay, good. All right, Travis. But Travis, would you have done it? I guess is the question. Would you have done it? Yeah, Gerard's out of 62. Good. Good exit on the QLGC. That was a good exit I did on the QLGC with the whole thing in there. Whew, glad I did that. Glad I knew to go back out into it too. Get sucked into these things. You know, really, really interesting example here. A beautiful example of why gaps don't fill themselves, and just, that's insane. All right, let's go back to the XNPT. Oh, no, I was trying to find this example from Friday. ADSK. When something, like when this thing, remember when this thing bounced, okay? What time was it? Actually, this is still lower. I didn't think it was in here this morning, but it is now. With the market doing this, the way it looks, it is. Not today, but overall. Let's go back here. You did see the base breakdown play. All right. You were in earlier this morning. Good. Hold on. So this was Friday, all right? See the thing that happened huge in here, like a V, okay? This goes down hard. First of all, this is way past any point that you would even think of staying in the trade. You'd be out. You can't. You'd be out. That's why the idea of trailing bar by bar starts to be just silliness once something's way past the number you even have set for the day. You just take the trade off so you don't get hurt. Otherwise, you're blown out through here, all right? Anyways, it's like a V. So the V comes down hard. And look what happens. That's it then. All right, that was done then after this. Hard. Total reversal. Done. Okay, completely done. So done in the direction, meaning the hard reversal, it sets itself, meaning I am now done. Done going down, I'm now going up. Same thing I'm trying to show over here, okay? The hard reversal was in the upward direction. Okay, this is today. The hard reversal here, if this had a hard reversal in the downward direction, it would have followed through. That didn't happen. This is not it. It's the start of something. No go. Right here, I told you no go. Here, this bar. 9:44 reversal time. This activity is a no-go then. There's no V. Okay, even if you want to play into something that looks like a crazy, crazy tail, it has to do a V. What was the one? Michael already signed out. Started with an A. There was one that started with an A. A-D. What was it? There was one that started with an A that we looked at that was an insane tail the way it's set up and then went on to work. Does anybody remember? It was in the last month. It was in May. It was an insane, insane tail. And I said, I cannot participate in this. It's insane. And I did something else that day that worked. Does anybody remember it? Michael did it, but he already signed out. It was a crazy, crazy tail that ran like a crazy banshee. I wanted to look at that intraday time frame. I don't remember what it was. I'd have to go back and look at my notes, and I'm not going to do that now. But if anybody remembers, let me know. It started with an A. It wasn't A run. What was it? I don't remember. Anyways, the reverse swoosh thing is king of the hill, king of the mountain, just like the swooshes are too. You have to give them respect. There's really no reason to ever play against it. And even when I do it, I know that it's a 50-50 chance and higher odds of failing than working. And really, I've only ever done it twice, okay? And you just really have to pay attention to what you're doing with these things because they can hurt you. So if you do insist on doing them, the stop has to be tight. But don't be so into something that you don't see it for what really is happening. Meaning you love the gap. The gap is lower. The chart is lower. We'll look at the overall daily, even though it did this today. Okay. This is the exact reason that people insist the gaps get bought, even though that's not a strategy and does not work. Okay. But this very reason today that two people and the brother decided to buy this today and they made $1 in it is the reason they insist the gap fills work. How many days do we make $1 in something? Plenty. Way more than we'd ever make if we ever did gap fills. You may play a gap fill, which is not anything that makes any sense and doesn't work. You could play 30 of them. 2 run $1 and you're jumping up and down and you lose in 28. Meanwhile, we play gaps that run $1. 10 gaps we get, 8 run $1 or more. And two don't work like this. So who cares? I mean, you want to be on the side that's supposed to work right all the time, most of the time, more than it ever doesn't. Not like this. In fact, this is a good continuation gap for tomorrow. I'll just watch it. And when this breaks on through where we wanted it to break today, and it didn't, which really was underneath here, which was really the low. Actually, the low of today, when it breaks, as soon as it breaks that, this thing is a goner. It's 5 cents away from the whole number. It doesn't even matter. As soon as it breaks that, it's a goner. And guess what? This did have significance today, which is why here's a clue mark. Never, never, never do this. Number 1, reverse swoosh and look. We had it this morning. I said, FYI, boom, double bottom on the 15 pre-market. Do I think that's not going to work? No, but it has to prove itself and prove that it wasn't going to work. So what are you going to do? Just lay off of it. And where I was calling to short it here, people actually bought it, so. But there's nothing to buy in here. The chart's lower. It's very damaged. So the swing trade targets are still the same, and you can get a nice entry in this. Take this overnight, short it into the close, hold it down tomorrow. I bet it runs red. It didn't work today, but it's good. And I would not short against this on a higher time frame. Again, we looked at these many, many times. I forget the one last week that failed like this. Was it WMT or was it WMT where you look to short in here and then it doesn't go anywhere? It goes like 10 cents and then it holds. Was it WMT? No, I don't remember. It was something that did a similar thing like that last week. I thought it was this and it wasn't. Let's look at this chart anyways. Look, this is desperately trying to make it down to the target we've had the last time, couple times we played it. It will get there, but just slow ride to hell. I mean, look, every time this comes in, it's getting bought. It's going to get to the number, but not the way that you want to see weakness. This isn't really weakness. It's like it's a pull into support. Actually, this is a pull into support because every time it'll get here on tails. Just look at that. EW is a huge play. Huge play. So this is not something to be shorted here, even though it's going to set up on the 5 and the 15 minute. If you even shorted this here, it would be a scalp. It would be a scalp to get it to 570, or in a dream world, 560, so you don't do it. Why? It's reverse swoosh. It's 11 o'clock in the afternoon. The stock has set its tone for the day. What is it? Bullish. Does it mean that the gap is bullish? No, it's a bearish down gap that failed. It's a gap down failure. Just like this is a gap up failure. This is setting up again. Gosh, I don't really want to call another trade in this for you guys, but it did hold 40. You know what? If it breaks 47, you could do it in the 15-minute, put the stop. You could play the 15-minute play. 47.04. Stop still has to be, though, 30. Stop still has to be back up at 30. It retested 40 and held. It looks like it's going to set up again in the 15-minute. This is so ugly looking, though, now in this bigger time frame. If it breaks 47, it's going to work. Do whatever you got to do. I'm not doing it. 15-minute looks awful. The problem is, because it's set up so sloppy here and retested 47.40, I don't think this gets to $45 today. The setup, if it triggers under 47 with a stop over 30, would be to play it to a smaller number, not the big on number. It would be to play it to 46.50. 46.50. I don't think this gets to $45 today. It would have gone already into here. It would have gone in this. It wouldn't have done this again. $47. The break of 47 on the 15-minute, and 30s. Stops 30 cents. Stops 30 cents if you want to do it. To run $1, basically. 46.50. $46 maybe. It's not going to get to 45 today. This is just messy now. It's a shame. This could have worked. This should have worked right in here immediately, but didn't do it. But it's going to end the day like this. So it's either going to bat around or retest low a day and go to 46.50, or it's done. Doesn't have the $45 number, and it doesn't have the dream number like this. All right. So any questions? Look, this isn't even coming in. It's not coming in at all. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually goes up to here today. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes all the way up to 630. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets bought in the 5-minute chart. And he dipped down in here, gets bought, and it goes up to 630, 620, 620, 630, 640, 650. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. Rax. Let me look at that for Mark. Let me get a look at the list for tonight. Rax is lower, too thin in here, but the volume's in here. It's trading thin, though. What the heck? Almost 1 million shares, but when I just said to myself thin, but I look at the volume and say, wait a minute, it's not thin, but it is thin in reference to the trading bars. This isn't, I wouldn't do anything with this today. It's just my personal opinion here. Here was a trade, and if you take it as a swing trade or core trade, you're in it here. And you suffer through here and holding it through, knowing it's going to work and follow through. This is volume, but it's trading really weird. I looked at this, I said thin. I looked at it, I said, wait a minute, but this is thin. Thin meaning weird. I wouldn't do it today. It's not having like the full-on flush. Tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow, and look for it to break. Chuck is saying he thinks that some gap fills can work, much different gaps than you look for with a bunch of different rules. One guy who does gap fills generally does small gaps. But do you understand, though, that the idea of a gap fill is not a strategy? This is actually a very, very important thing. Let's talk about for a little bit today because we have time before we go over the list. When I trade a stock, okay, let's look at QLGC. When I trade a stock, I have a strategic reason for doing it, okay? What is a strategy? A strategy is really nothing but the reason to do the trade. I don't think you should trade without a strategy. Why? Because I don't think you should trade without a reason. This is the problem with the idea of using support and resistance as a strategy. It isn't one. Because support and resistance isn't a reason to take a trade, just as well as a gap fill is not a reason to take a trade. This is very, very important. I'm so glad that you said this, Chuck. The only reason to take a trade is a reason that makes sense, and actually makes sense in reference to what? The chart. When I trade a gap, okay, I'm trading the strategy is the gap, but I'm not doing that for any other thing other than the fact that there's a reason. The price is actually moving and has had an effect on the stock in such a way that the price that it is opening at 9:30, I'm trading in the morning or the night before or whatever, right, and getting ready to set up and trade at it, is an event that isn't occurring. We were talking about this last week. It's an event. It's an event that has created a reason now for people to take action. The action is actually required, okay? It's required. People are required to take action in a gap that qualifies per my rating system. They're required. I know that they will. That's why I have 100% conviction in trade successfully, because I know that an action is required. Okay. Now, it's not required by all the participants, but it is required by many. Okay. And the reality is that people don't like to be up money and then down, or people don't like to be down a lot. So, for example, what is the reason behind my strategy? The reason behind my strategy, the event that occurs, is that people are long. Actually, let's go over ADSK. This is a better example. This is a better example in here because it was, we talked about this on Friday. People are long the stock. They could be long the stock from here. Who knows? Okay, who knows where they could be long it? They could be long it a million different places up in here, and they got paid on a nice rally up. Now, I wouldn't have been long this, but I'm telling you, people are. You can see that it's been rallying on a mini time frame and a miniature time frame in the last 6 months. This has had a nice rally, some big green bars, and people have been making some profit. Okay, so they are up. They are not in this since $5, since $10. They got in it around this stuff in here, which is not stuff I would buy, but people did. And I see that they did. I can see what people are doing even if I'm not in it. I see the activity. So I see that. And then the stock gaps down. People have a reason now to exit the stock that are long. They want to protect their profits. They're still up. Some people, though, are down. They are forced to take an action. An event has occurred. They must take the action, and they will. And therefore, that's the reason I take the trade. No action is required at support and resistance. No action is required at all. And that's why support and resistance isn't a strategy. No action is required for such a thing as a gap fill. There's no action that's required. There's no action. And we'll go over the one today, and I'll explain why there's no action required in that. The event is people are long this stock and are either down or up profits, but less profits. They were up before the opening today or Friday in this, and therefore they must take money off. Now, not everybody will, though, which is many times why the gaps continue. Some continue for a long time. Some just happen on the day. Okay, but the point is, an action's required as an event has occurred. The strategy is the event. It's the reason. It's the reason to trade. A buy setup isn't really a reason to trade if you think about it. I know people add to positions that way, and I'm fine with doing ads and things like that, but it's not a reason. I think this idea of having a strategy is the be-all, end-all of being successful. I think when you get to a point where you realize intellectually that you must have a strategy, and not only that, that you consider what your strategy is and consider whether or not it even makes any sense, and possibly then make some adjustments within your own trading plan, you will reach a new level because you've got to get to the place where you say, wait a minute, she's right, okay? There's no event going on here and a support and resistance play. Why should I expect it to hold? Could it work? Sometimes, yes. Does it work sometimes? Yes. Is that the proper way to trade as far as a strategy? No. Because it doesn't have high odds of holding. I was talking about this a little bit this morning when I was, writing some more of the class that I'm doing now on trends. And there's some really good stuff in there that I actually never intellectualized in writing. When I was writing the class, that it forced me to put it in words in a way that I couldn't have a hard time describing it to people, except for the fact that I'm writing a class, so I'm forcing myself to put it on paper. Things that I see in charts that I'm trying to explain to people as I'm teaching. This is the best way I can describe what I'm saying here. A strategy is an event that forces an action. And it's the same way to the upside. Let's go look. Let's look at Netflix. Why? Because I love this chart and it's a beautiful example of so many things. Netflix, when it first, let's go look. And then I want to go over the gap fill thing too that Chuck's talking about. Here. So there's an event that occurs. Okay, the event that occurs with the day that it gaps. There's an event. Wow, wait a minute. First of all, people were looking to get long this probably sometime after this collapse happened. After this collapse happened, people were watching it to kind of put her out in here. All right. And they may have bought in here and then got stopped out and got crushed through some of these gaps that continued because it wasn't ready. It was still in a downtrend. But people were watching it after this fall off here. So the event that occurs is people were wanting to get long it. They don't wait anymore. The event has occurred. They get long. It's triggered. Number one. Number two, people are short the stock. They think it's going to go to zero. They think it's insane that it's something like this could even ever have gotten to this price. They can't legitimize it. In their head, they read financials, they do whatever they do. Whatever they do, they insist that it's going to $20 because they just don't like the company for whatever reason. They don't think it makes sense. It doesn't matter. The price dictates what's happening. And then they're short this, and then they have to get out. They're getting out, makes green because they cover. And people that are waiting to go long it get in. On the event, which is the strategy, which is the gap, which, by the way, corrected the chart. And I said it all along, and it will not see that price the rest of the year. This will go over the highs this year. It will make it on through. You can bet your booty in this. Everybody could have bought it in here and held it and just rode it on through. All right? So it was an event. Same thing to the downside as the upside. Now, the upside is what? People are wanting to buy. Remember, people do like to buy that run big money more than they like to short. I don't know why, but they do. And when they're doing the gaps and I'm playing to the downside, they're really selling out many times of the long position. They're shorting too, but a lot of these swooshes and stuff is happening by selling, hard selling that happens really, really fast, okay? Because many times it's just easier to hold big positions on the long side. And people see more payout in long term in reference to that. People understand it. Regular people understand it. People get their statements in their mail. They're in mutual funds, IRAs. They understand it. They understand it. Things are getting bought. People like to buy way more than like to short. Shorting is a trading concept. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. They don't get it. People are looking for stuff like this. They want to buy. It's on their radar. Big money people, it's on their radar. We're looking to get in this thing. We want to get in. Where's the event? Yes, there it is. Get it, take it, buy it, buy as much as you can. And it runs, look, it runs up, look at this, $30 today after. So the strategy is the event. So a gap fill is not an event. It's not an event. Let's go look at it today. What is it? XNPC. Like, let's look over the high day again. What's QLGC doing? Market. Look, every single one's getting bought. Every single one bought. All right, let's look at this. So I'm not denying that people can make money doing this. Clearly, if we bought this today, when I saw the failure, I could have bought it. I could have made money doing that. Doesn't mean I want to trade that way. No. Why? It's not a strategy. Therefore, I don't want to do it. I need to keep my odds in favor working towards me in the direction of positive, meaning trading properly. What does trading properly means? It means having a reason to do the trade. Having a reason to do the trade that makes sense overall, not just short-term, but long-term too. And that's the power in doing this stuff, by the way. That's the power in doing this. And the more thing that you can have that gives you conviction, the better you're going to become. Okay? I have no conviction in doing anything against the daily trend. I can't do it. I won't do it. I can't do it. All right? Unless it gaps against the trend in a gap that rates high for me, that changes the direction of the chart because of the gap. That's a different story. But again, the strategy is the gap. So what happens here? What is the event that occurred today? The stock gapped down, ran hard this morning, touched down at 475, and opened at 509. Tell me the event. The event was the stock price opened from the close of Friday at $6.75. The event occurred that the stock lost almost $2 overnight. The stock lost 30% of its value overnight. What is the event? Is the event triggering something that would create people to buy this that would make sense? No. Many times what happens is these bars where people do want to play these gap fills, these are not the people that control the world. These are people that are buying this, but they're not people that control the world. How do you know who's controlling the world? All you have to do is look at the chart. Who's controlling the world? Remember, we talked about this last week. We were talking about what's the story? What's the story? What's the story? The story is the stock is in a downtrend and just gapped down again today, lost 30% of its value overnight. What's the story? There's a problem here. The fact that it ran up and rallied $1 today, does that mean there's not any problem? No, it doesn't mean there's not any problem. Does that mean the problems are over? No, it doesn't mean the problems are over. It doesn't mean anything. There's nothing. There's no event. There's no play. There's nothing to do. There's no play. No play, no play, no play, no play. It's a bearish down gap that failed in the day because the reverse swoosh. The reverse swoosh is telling me to lay off of it. The strategy didn't work today, but the overall direction is down. Okay? The if, ands, whys, or buts of why these things flip the day and then go the next day down on top of themselves, just like Aaron's probably going to, and did then after they got here. Remember this back in May. You could say, oh, this thing's a bust. Look, didn't continue. Look what happened the next day. It's not a bust. Look, if you had shorted this and held it and stuck with it and had conviction in what was going on here, in the event that happened here on 5-7, which by the way played out nice. If you were a swing trader, a core trader, invested big money for people and you shorted this gap this day, would you have killed it here? You would have said, oh crap, the event's not over. The event happened. The event occurred. The event closed. The event worked. The event happened today, even despite, which is the reason I don't play against these things. There's an event that occurred today. It didn't work out as an intraday trade, but the event is still intact in the daily chart. There's no changing it. There's no changing that the stock opened today at $5.05 or $5.09. There's no changing this. It's 11:20. You can't go back in time to 9:30 and pretend that didn't happen. It did happen. What was the event? The story to the stock and the event is intact and you cannot change it. You want to play against that? Be my guest. Will it work? It will fail 90% of the time. And people that do these have criteria they're looking for. Maybe, Chuck is saying, maybe they do them based on this or based on that, but there's no way you'll ever convince me that they work more than they don't. Because I'm tracking them. I'm tracking them. I've been tracking them for 5 years. I don't do them. There's a reason I don't do them. There's a reason that I do what I do. You'll never get something that looks like, oh, what's the one? What was the one we just did? Anything. You'll never get something that looks like this, with the kind of entry that this had on a gap fill. Because many times what happens is the gap fill fails in a reverse swoosh, and that happens, and it just like happens out of nowhere, and you really have absolutely no entry at all. Like, what are you going to do? Buy on the open? It's a down gap. You don't even know if it's going to work or not. Like, what do you do? Like, even this is insane. You could do it. As soon as it doesn't trigger, you could do it. Okay? But this is like, doesn't even make any sense. Like, this is going to be your entry. What is this? Like, what is that? A buy setup? You're buying it on the number? Nope, it's not a number. Time of the day? Nope. 9:34. That doesn't make any sense. 9:35 is a reversal time. Like, there's not even, you can tell it's completely erroneous because it doesn't have a setup. Now, if you wanted to buy this, you could have bought this in here. You would have known by then it was a failure. Again, you're doing like the opposite, like of CPB. You're playing the failure. You can play this as a failure on the day if you want to. And maybe people are doing that, but they missed 55, 60% of the move. In the trades that I'm doing on the short side, I'm getting in before the move even happens, how would you rather play? The risk to reward is not here. The risk to reward is in playing the direction of the chart. The risk to reward happens in the direction of the gap, not against it. By the time it sets up and you know that it's a failure, it's late and your stop is big or it doesn't have a correct entry, where do you put the stop? Where do you get in? Look, this was it. This whole thing happened here in 15 minutes. Boop! That's it. It's done. All right. There's nothing to do. You know? This actually went 17 cents over the high of the bar here. It only went 17 cents over the high. Where's the play in it? Where's the momentum? That's how you can tell, actually. That's how you can tell, actually. That's how you can tell, even if you don't believe me. Go back and look at an intraday time frames and look at the miniature time frames. That's how you can tell that what I'm saying makes sense as well, because there's no way to play them. Does that make sense? So there is no event that occurred here today to short the stock intraday, but you would be in this as a short if you like this lower to the bigger target of $4 as a swing trade or a core trade, despite this rally today. Okay. And as a person that plays gap fills, they're playing against what's going on in the daily chart. So you're going to take your lickings, okay? Because when the shorting of the buying decides to come in the right direction of the gap, whenever it happens, watch out. Does what I'm saying make sense? That a strategy is so basic, but you've got to have it. And there is no strategy involved in gap fills. It's a support and resistance play. And that's not a strategy. A gap fill is picking a bottom and it's playing the support and resistance as a strategy. But that's not a strategy. People that play gap fills are just buying into some area of support in the chart. But that's not a strategy. A strategy is an event. There is 20 billion kajillion. I could point out if we wanted to sit here all day until midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m., we'd be here for 24 hours. I could point out every area of support and resistance in this chart. And you would have to drink 10 cups of coffee and have 5 Red Bulls to stay awake till I pointed them all out. We wouldn't even get it done in 24 hours. So do you know what I'm saying? It's not a strategy. There's too many levels of support and resistance here. If there was only 1 or 2 or 3 and they were that noticeable, people wouldn't struggle with support and resistance. People struggle with support and resistance. They don't understand how to read it, okay? But I do for one reason and one reason only, because I understand the overall bigger picture, which is what? The strategy. The strategy, which is the gap, okay? That's why this thing here is just, unbelievable. The way people try to do this thing with Apple. In fact, I was looking at this over the weekend too. Let's look at this right now. I didn't see what this is doing today. I'll answer your question about racks in a minute then, Mark. But this is a good discussion. This is so important. There was somebody that used to be in the room. I could never, ever, ever convince him. I could talk for a million years and never convince him about the picking tops and bottoms. Never convince him, and I'll never be able to. So here is Apple. Apple is waiting for the 200 pre-moving average to squish down on top of it. And when that happens, it's getting set up to make another gap down lower or fix itself on the chart. What does it have to do for that? A lot. In fact, I was looking at this over the weekend too. So this is going to squish now. With this rally up in here today, it's squishing. This doesn't mean this is done. This is triggering on a buy setup. Actually triggered on a buy setup and failed on Friday. Following through in here today, this is making a higher low. And people will think this is going to hold, and it's not going to hold, I guarantee you. This is why these things work. Do you understand? This is why when Apple gaps down again, it's going to run like crazy red. Because people are buying in here. But this isn't a buy until it gaps up. I actually think, I still think it needs to gap up quite a lot. Quite a lot. 550. Between 550 and 555. That's $110 away. And the percentage of chances of it going lower is where it is higher than going higher, unless it gaps up. Because the chart's in a downtrend. And it's still in a downtrend now. Even though this did a higher low in here and pivoted, it's still in a downtrend. I hope everyone sees that. I mean, this is so weak. I was even going to give this a rally all the way back up into here. I didn't care if it went over these pivots. It's still lower. I was even going to give it a rally all the way back to here. It didn't even do it. Didn't even do it. Can't even do it. All right, let me answer your racks question. So I don't know if I'm going to convince you or not, Chuck, because I know there's people out there writing stuff about stuff, but it's completely erroneous. I don't know what to say, you know. I've been doing the same thing now for so long that I know, okay? I'm an expert in these gaps, okay? Particularly to the downside. And if there was a different story, I'd tell you. I wouldn't, I'm not making it up. I'm not holding back. Okay. I'm not saying, oh, these work. If they worked, I'd be doing them every day with you guys in the room. I'd be like, yeah, let's buy it. No, I never, ever, ever do that. Rax, your first question was after the first 4 bars of the morning. After the first 4 bars of the morning, held 40.50. I don't know if that was a number or not. I don't see it in here. Let's look at the daily. No, I mean, this didn't run up to any number I have. I mean, 40.50 is an area, but do you see it touched down? It just barely touched on that 8. It went boop, and it just was the 8 in here. I don't have 50 as a number. If I look hard, it's probably in here somewhere. You know, 40.48, 40.49. There it is. There it is. The open of this green bar here, it went up and touched on it within a penny and came back down on top of itself. And that was it. But again, this was thin this morning. So I don't know how you would have done it, but it rallied up and touched down on that number. Why did it feel the need to do that? Who knows? But it didn't have a setup or play or anything until after that. You would have had to have conviction the chart was lower, know that it wasn't going to hold there, know it wasn't going to rally, and do it. But this doesn't really have any momentum in it today. It has volume, but it's, like I said earlier, it looked thin to me because it's kind of weird. Like, it's not trading fluidly. 1 green bar, 1 red bar, 1 red bar, 1 topping tail. I don't think this has play in it until it starts to go and break under here, which could happen in the next day or two. No one's paying me to talk people into, you know, the gap fill fallacy. It's not like somebody's like, yeah, tell everybody that they don't work so we can do them. No one, I mean, come on. I'm saying to you what I believe. I'm saying to you what I know. Take it for what it's worth, okay? If there was a way to make money in this that made sense intellectually based on the chart or anything else at all, I would do it. There's nothing in this that makes sense. And 95% of the time, they fail. And the 5% of the time that they actually do this, the next day, they go on to go red. They go on to go red. So then it just reinforces the conviction in the original bias that I had, which is what? There was an event that occurred. The fact that it did not play out in the right direction on the day does not mean the event hasn't occurred. I'm going to say one thing, and then we're going to go over the list for tonight. The very first gap on Apple down that created this whole thing failed. Failed on the day. It was a green bar. Do you think it wasn't real? It was real. The thing fell off the cliff then, never went over the high of it, and broke $400. And if you didn't play that thing that day short as a core trade, rating the gap, knowing it was going to work, knowing that it rated high, knowing it was good, knowing it was good at having the conviction, you didn't get the best entry in this, and you didn't make the big buckaroos. And if you tried to buy that as anything at all, you lost. Just because a gap doesn't work on the day does not mean it's not good. I'm not going to play it short. I'm not going to keep shorting X and I'm not going to keep shorting what's making higher highs in the day. I'm not going to short as a day trade. I'm a day trader. But I know what's going on, and I know the story, and I know the event, and this gap here on the day to play as a short failed. And it was the entry. And that was it. Boom. So, and it flipped the next day. Look, exactly. This is the reason that trading is so difficult. People have a hard time having conviction. Why? Because there's so many different philosophies out there, so many different theories, so many different things. You get a headache, you get confused, you don't know what to do. Listen to what I'm saying, or listen to somebody else if you want to. I don't know what to say. What I'm saying makes sense. The reason to trade is a strategy. What is the reason? The reason is an event. An event has occurred. There's a reaction that is required by the event, by participants who own the stock. and some people that are trading and running big money that decide to short it as well. Okay, but it is triggered by an event. The event is the gap. And that's the reason that I trade gaps and will always trade gaps. And I can't see myself ever doing anything other than this. I don't even think if I was in a position long that I'd ever buy in a buy setup. You know what I would buy? I would buy the next gap. And if it wiggled and jiggled after the gap as the ad, if the gap was the ad and it wiggled and jiggled after that, I'd know and I'd suffer in it, but I really wouldn't be suffering because it'd be in the first gap. I'd cost average myself and worsen my price getting in the next one. It'd wiggle and jiggle, I'd still be up. It had parameters they'd have to hold, and as long as I did, it'd carry through. So I can't ever see myself buying into support ever doing it, because it just, there's too many different areas of support, and a support isn't a strategy. The gap is a strategy. That is what you are doing. That's the event. A buy setup happens and people notice it, and it's part of technical analysis, and that's why I'm aware of it and I read it and we discuss it. And so is support and resistance. The numbers mean something. You have to watch them, you have to read them, but it's not an event. Otherwise, every single solitary thing that runs into support would hold, but that's not the case. When Apple was running up, when it came up here to the 200 period moving average, when it came up here to the 20, this would have held in the 20. There's an area of support, didn't hold. Why? Wait a minute, that's support, it should hold. Okay, let's give it down to the 50. We'll give it a little bit more room. Oh, it holds in there. Now what? Oh, okay, here, this is it, this is the buy, it's on the 50, it's gonna hold, it's on support. There, it does a buy setup. Oh, what happened? All right, we're gonna go to the next support area. We're gonna go to the next one, we're gonna go to the next one, the next one, the next one. I know it's gonna hold, it's gonna hold right in here. It's gonna hold it. Oh, now what do we do? Crap. All right. You know, let's look at the list for tonight. I think I've made my point, but ask me any questions if you want to. No one's paying me to convince anyone about this stuff. I'm saying what I believe. I must say what I know and believe, and I'm going to continue to do that. And the reason there's a market is because people don't believe me, and that's okay. It allows for me to make money. All right, TiVo. TiVo. Gosh, is this the only one out tonight? There's nothing. This is the only one out tonight. We'll look at the list for tomorrow morning. Well, TiVo's good if it works. TiVo's good if it gaps down. I really like the bar today. Everything looks great with this. I don't know what it's going to do, but if it gaps down, it's a goodie. So TiVo is on the list, and it's the only thing tonight, although I'm sure there'll be things outside of it. Let's look at tomorrow morning. I mean, there's people that scalp, trade for a living. They make money day trading as scalpers. Would I do that? Not with a 10-foot pole. Okay. Do they make money? Sure. There's people that are scalpers that make money. They do a whole different thing. There's no strategy involved in scalping. They're trying to scalp to make money. The purpose of them actually trading is for one purpose. Their purpose is to make money. Scalpers train to make money. The goal is obviously the result that you want to see trading in anything that you do. The result that you want to see is profits. That's the reason that you trade. But that actually should not be the reason. Okay, that should not be actually the reason why. The chart should be the reason. And if you focus on the knowledge of the chart, you will see the results. This is one thing that I teach that people don't get. We started talking about this morning. Having the proper knowledge is going to help you get the result. If you try to get right to the result, you're not going to see the results that you could. You're never going to see the real results that you could. You're not going to see it. I mean, you could be in this just to make a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, and not really be in full throttle. I think this is challenging. I think you got to be in it to win it. And that means to do the right things to see the big profits. Woo, BBY. This is one of the ones that was on my list. This is out tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be all over this. Let's look at it here. There's plenty of people that make money doing all kinds of things that don't make any sense. Even the ones that make money, could they make more doing something that made sense? Absolutely. It's very stressful to me to scalp, to take something for 10 cents and have to quick it out. You have to take size to do that to make any real money. You're not playing a momentum. Sometimes you're playing against the direction of the chart. You got to quick it in, quick it out. You never get big runs and stuff. You don't trade that way. You're taking huge size. Your risk is huge. The risk is huge. There is no risk to reward. it doesn't make any sense to me. People do it. People make money. Would they make more playing momentum? Absolutely. Do they know how? No. Is it easy? No. Can they learn? Yes. Do they want to? No. Why? I don't know. You know? It takes time. It takes effort. You know? Big deal. This is good. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's good. Okay, this is tomorrow morning. This is really, 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 really good if it works. Here's the target. No, that's too big. Hold on. Well, I don't know what this is going to gap. Let's just play it by ear. Actually, this could gap down a lot, and this could be the target if it gaps down a lot. We'll have to play it by ear here. I'm not sure what this is going to do. Anywhere this gaps is good, actually. The target's going to depend on where it opens. It could gap up, though. If it does, then we're not going to do it, but I like it as a down gap. DCIX. This is thin. I'll put it on the list. This that as I'm talking here, this is good too. I just realized, in fact, I have to make myself a note. Hold on. I didn't realize that till I said it. Sometimes I say things that just come out of my mouth. I didn't realize until I said it today that that is the very reason that gap fills don't work, because it's nothing more than a play of support and resistance. And support and resistance is not a strategy. And that's the very reason that they don't work. I didn't realize that till I just said it today spontaneously, but I just wrote it down to remind myself. Let's look at HD. That's why focusing on the price is vital. It's vital to success in trading, you know, to make sure that you're seeing what's going on for what it really is and not getting tripped up in gobbledygook. This is terrible. This is awful, and I don't think it works. This could do a million things, and it's not going to work, so I'm not putting it on the list. We'll look at it, but I don't think it works. This is nothing, actually. It's not going to be a good up gap, and it's not going to be a good down gap. Does anybody have any comments about what I'm saying? You agree? You totally disagree? She's off her rocker? Tell me what you think. It's not going to change my mind, okay? Because I've been doing this for too long in the fashion I'm doing it. But tell me what you think. You know, I'm more than happy to think about what you say, but don't think you're going to convince me otherwise. But you know, I think that the discourse is healthy. NDT is good. I'm going to put this on the list. MNRO. And particularly, I think, Chuck, you're doing stuff like options and things like that. You really got to be careful. You're in this stuff like that. Now, I know the risk is lessened than doing the overnights and stuff and the options, but you still got to get the direction right. You got to get the direction right overall to get paid in those things, or you'll lose in them. It's important. SKS. Owen is saying it definitely makes sense. Mark is saying it makes sense. I like to have explanations, reasons why things are happening. So do I. So do I. I'm the same personality, Mark. We might have birthdays at the same time. Gerard says, I like it. My primary reason for retaking the class is to better understand the event behind the charts, which requires action by market movers. Oh, okay. Ew, this chart is a mess. I'll put this on the list, but this chart is a mess. I did a thing, it was like months ago. I did a free webinar thing. It was a Traders exclusive, actually. It wasn't with HotCom. And I did it on gap fills. I got like virtually no reaction. People like were, people said nothing. They had no reaction at all. Probably because they didn't believe anything I was saying. They either didn't understand what I was saying or just thought I was crazy. Like they didn't believe anything I was saying. I got no reaction. People didn't argue with me. People didn't say yes. People just sat there and listened. Like they didn't say anything. It was hilarious. I expected a lot of people to say stuff and nobody said anything. You know. TJX. Hey, there's some good stuff out for tonight. Let's go take a look and see these things now. All right, so good exit on that. I actually got out as close to low a day as I could. I could have pressed the button at 55, but other than that, that was the best exit I could have gotten on that. So no piggish today. I said that this morning. XNPT didn't touch this with a 10-foot pull. That was good. CPB, yeah, look at this. It's not going to get to 45. Broke and fell here. Fell on the 15-minute, but I don't think it breaks to 45 now. It's going to hold the red, though, for the day, which is why it's coming back down on top of here. I think it's going to mishmash around in here. Come back down here, rally up again, come back down, maybe break a new low, come back down a little bit more. It's not going to get to 45. It's too bad. It's weak. You can tell it's weak. Look at everything it's doing in here. Set up again here nice. He should have did it right in here. Should have did it right in here. This shouldn't have happened. No excuses. But is going to close red today. Bullish market. This continually lifting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So I don't know if we actually have the big green bar I want to see today. I have a feeling not though, because I said, what did I say? By 12 o'clock. Yeah, by 12 o'clock. It's 15 minutes away, so we're not going to do it. But we're trading green. We're bullish. Could come in a little bit more and get bought again, and kind of just close the day looking like this, similar fashion. Still waiting for the big green day. I don't know when it's going to happen. All right, let's put the targets in here. I mean, the watch list for tonight. Here it is. Gerard is saying when you state a gap fills, it's just a plan, support, and resistance. It's not a strategy, and you must have a strategy. What are you saying then, Owen? Watch list for tonight. Oh, this is tonight and tomorrow. TIVL, BBY, BCIX, PKS, MDT, NM, SKS, TECB, TDW, TJX. The interesting thing is that's why I think once you learn my strategy, now you do have to learn it, and you know, it's something that you have to take the time to learn. But I do think once you learn it and then you gain conviction in it and you start to see success, the only thing stopping you from profiting is what? Your own mental issues. That's it. All right. So your own demons is the only thing preventing you from making money once you learn the stuff that I teach you in the class. After you learn it and start to practice it. And your demons can be big. They can, you know, it's the demons in people that want them to make something out to be something that isn't there. It's all the things that have been going on in their mind for a trillion years that want them to see things in an incorrect fashion, because I think once people find that they've been trying to do this for a while and they haven't seen success, the funny thing is they still keep batting at it, maybe with less momentum than they had at the beginning. But they really don't 100% believe in it anymore. They still do it anyways because they love the market, they love trading, but they're losing, okay, or maybe making a teeny weeny bit of breaking even, but they've lost conviction along the way. They shouldn't be doing it anymore if they've lost conviction, but people lose conviction, and so for any excuse to make why something wouldn't work, they take it. One friend says this, the TV says this, MSNBC says this, they go on a channel, they read a report, they talk to their friend. Any reason to question something, they question it. Why? Because they don't have 100% conviction anymore that it's possible to make money trading, because they've seen failure. And that failure is a demon. It's a demon in themselves. And they won't see success, even when they find something that works and makes sense, until they kill the demon. Just squash it. Kill it like a bug. Owen is saying, you're just saying that you agree with the statement I made earlier, that it makes sense. You used to trade based on support and resistance with the 18-way method. Well, we've talked about the 18-way method before. That's so, you know, out there. Yeah. So again, my role here is to trade in the manner that I believe, and obviously, you know, teach along the way as I'm saying things, you know, but you can disagree with me if you want to, but it doesn't mean you're going to change what I'm doing. And I may say the reasons that I don't like the thing or disagree with you. So you know, you can't get offended, but you know, we can have discourse about it. But I'm more than open for anyone giving me a reason why a gap fill would work. But it is nothing but a play in support and resistance, and that is not an event. Okay? And there's actually nothing that can take away from the event of the gap down. There's nothing that can take away from it. The price has dictated that when it gapped down on the open. And that was dictated by what? What created that? What created this opening this morning at 509? People that own the stock sold out of it. There's no taking away from that. There's no taking away from that at all. Okay. This is different in here. Look at this. This is different. No one should have bought this up here anyways. If you wanted to buy this, you should have already been in it. Why would you take that as a new buy today? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Look, this thing has been running up beautifully, fantastically. Utter amazing performance. Amazing performance, running up like crazy. Why would you jump like a, you know, late into this thing on a gap up after this kind of beautiful activity? It doesn't make any sense, okay? And it wasn't a good bullish gap. But do you see how this doesn't make sense? It wouldn't make sense to buy today in this. This probably flips tomorrow because it's really a bullish gap, and this is going to hold today the red, but this chart isn't over. This chart is still holding bullishly even after today. This bar is not ruining this chart. It's just not, all right? This is going to get bought. Now, because of today's problems in here, it could come all the way in here to get bought. It could have done it today, but I have a feeling it's going to hold in here. Strong market, came in, not breaking down in the lower today. If this holds in here and doesn't break 46 today, I bet it holds and gets bought and flips right away. Beautiful chart, it's holding. It's not doing anything wrong. A complete and total performance. So people can, it's like we were trying to hold QGLC. Try to hold it, try to hold. Gerard was like, let me get it, let me squeeze a little bit more down to try to get down to $9 and see if I can. If I can, I'm out. So people were squeezing this today. They said, let me squeeze and eke a little teeny weeny. Let me see if we can get over 49 quick. I can't. Boom, I'm out. I'm out of my long. Let me sell it. The profits is a beautiful run up. I hold it for a couple minutes. Does it hold by 9:35? No, I'm selling out. I'm selling out of my profit here. I squeezed it. I'm out, okay? They're out of the long. That's all that's happening here. All right? So they're trying to eke out what they can here. Some people took profits already here, though. You can see that on the topping tail on the red bar here. Some people did get out of the long into this push off here. They were long. And then after this happened today and started to go red, they said, wait a minute, we should have got out here. Quick, quick, get us out. So this is profit taking today, nothing else. All right. Beautiful run. You wouldn't buy this up here. Why would you buy this up here? The event is a bullish gap, so it's a long, but the entry is not here. Okay. Actually, can anyone tell me the entry before I finish up for the day here? Where is it? Where was the entry to go long here? Anyone know? Want to tell me? Nobody wants to guess? Here. And it did go a couple little pennies. 18 cents under here, but it held. And this actually traded up really hard and fast in the day. This probably was a morning play as a long, as a nice bullish gap that held. This was the entry here. And you get the run up. Okay? Once again, just because it failed on the day, really, didn't close green. This had a run up in it in the morning. Ran up $1.50. I don't know how it traded to do that, but this was a nice bullish gap and it held. Look at it. And you're in it here. That's it. You just run it up. Run it up here. You get in it anywhere here. You made $10 since February. February to March, March to April, April to May in 3 months. So you're taking your profits out. But not everybody's getting out because the market's bullish now. This is a nice little chart in here. So that's why I think this flips and goes long tomorrow, the next day. That's probably why it's not going to come into 45 either. CSC does not look exactly like this. It's a different look. Look, this is going to go to 46.50 now. This is a different formation here. This is a different story. And this is going to get down in here. This is short at some point in here. Or you could have just held some into here. All right. All right, anybody have any questions? Good little day. We made something. Today, did this hold 970 again? Ugh, gosh, I mean, I don't trade the afternoon, but this is holding 970. You could just short it again. Short it again. It held 970, put the stop over at 72. You know, there it goes. It's triggered in every time frame there, just the minute I said it. So, but you know, it's not going to go above there today, actually. And by the way, look, there it is. So that's why it's not doing it. It's not going to go over there today. See? There it is. All right, any questions? Any questions from anyone, let me know. If not, there's a bunch of stuff to look at tomorrow morning. BBY is the favorite. Oh, there's a couple of goodies. DKS isn't bad at all either. And TiVo's the only one tonight, and we may have some others unexpectedly. I think this is a day to just chunk it. Okay, there wasn't stuff that we really liked except for the one thing which reverse swooshed and failed. Market is nothing but bullish. Okay. And I'm not even sure where exactly we're going to run up into here. It doesn't even matter. We need to have a big, fat green day. And that has to be visible to me so I don't have to think about it. And until then, we're nothing but strong. All right? All right? Any questions, anyone? Hope everyone had a good morning. Take it easy this afternoon. If you need anything, email me. And, you know, we'll see what we can get tomorrow. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week are going to be good days. Thanks. Good job seeing the racks today, Mark. Go and study the XNPT, you know, when you have time this afternoon or whatever, and study that. This didn't even pull in at all. It looks like it's going to try to break over a new high in here. But look, there's no play. There's no play in it. So hopefully what I said about the gap fills makes sense. If you know, disagree with me, we can talk about it. Email me, call me, whatever. But you're not going to convince me otherwise because I know too much about gaps and I understand them too well. I'm telling you things to help you become better traders. Okay, that's the reason that you're in this room here. I generally would like people to become better traders. Whether or not they believe me or not, it's no skin off my back. You know, disagree with me if you want to. You'll find your own path. But the stuff that I'm saying is vital. It's just vital. And on any time frame, on any level, in any trading you do, swing, core, you know, options, anything, day trading, you name it, all the above. You got to get the direction right. If you don't get the direction right in the chart, you're not going to make money over the long haul. You're not going to be profitable no matter what. So you got to get the direction right. It doesn't matter what kind of trading you do. You know what I'm saying? All right. Good job, everybody. See you back here tomorrow morning. We got plenty of stuff to look at tomorrow. Be prepared. Hopefully everyone had a good day today and chunked it out. There's a bunch of things. Review what you did. Email me with questions. I'll see everybody back in here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Have a great afternoon. I'll talk to everyone tomorrow.